under attack. Can't build this. Add-on is up and... We don't have enough minerals. Add-on complete. More minerals. We don't have enough. That'll cost more minerals than we have. Add-on is up and running. We need more investment. That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Alright, we gotta go soon.
That'll cost more minerals than we have. Our allies, they can't build it. Don't have enough minerals. More minerals. That'll cost more minerals than we have. Allied forces are under attack. More minerals for that. That'll cost more minerals than our allied base is under attack.
Ready for dust off.
We don't have enough minerals. More minerals for that. Can't build there.
In the rear with the gear.
That'll cost more minerals than we have. We don't have a Add-on complete.
It's online. Let's go kill something. Big job.
Allied forces are under attack. Allied forces are under attack.
SCV ready. Go ahead. Gotcha.
Command center has been
SCV ready. You want a piece of me, boy? Cyclone. This ought to be good. Ready to roll out. Got a target. This better. SCV ready.
not enough vesting.
Go, go, go! Comms open. SCV ready. SCV ready. Ready to roll out.
That'll cost more minerals than we have. We don't have enough minerals.
Bad news.
Need more minerals for that.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Additional supply depots required.
SCV ready. Ready to roll out.
We don't have enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Our allies' base is under attack.
They blow the Hellions.
Allied forces are under attack. That's gonna require more gas. Add-on complete. Our allies' base is under attack.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Can't build there.
Hear me. Oh yeah.
Waiting order combat.
SCV ready. Ready to plunder. SCV
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
in the rear.
Command center has been upgraded.
SCV ready.
Can't build there.
Systems go. SCV ready.
Ready. State your request. Engineering.
Ready to plunder.
Need more minerals for that.
Cycle.
State.
Ready to raise some hell. Systems go.
We don't have nothing left in that mineral cluster.
SCV ready. Get some fire here. Rigs online. Let's go. Ready. SCV ready.
For hitting our SUVs, that's low. Allied forces are under attack.
SCV ready. Hear me.
That'll cost more.
Ready to plunder.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Ready.
We're done with the research.
Victor. Ready to blunder. Transformation ready. Prime. In the rear.
We don't have enough minerals.
SCV ready.
Allied forces are under attack.
Underway. Ready.
Got it. SCV ready. Nothing'll stop me. Ready to go.
Allied forces are under attack.
SCV ready.
Energy's too low.
SCV ready. In the rear. SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. Roger.
Ready.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. You got Give us SCV ready. Ready to play. Ready to roll out. SCV ready.
Allied forces are under attack.
Ready.
Mineral field depleted.
SCV. Ready to blunder.
GG. Double BCs.
Been on the streets a few months. I'm trying to pick myself up. I may be living alone, but I still believe in love. And although my flaws had dragged me down on the coldest night, I'm still kicking around. And then I saw you back before me.
Do you see the TL thread posted right after the finals today? No, I haven't seen the post yet. What is it? Let me see this. Hold on. I feel like Mario only does well in GSL. Hopefully he can win one of those big tournaments soon. What's up, Watermelon? He always gets close to winning the finals, but like he always gets very close games.
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Yeah, he at least makes it to finals though.
Big job, huh?
Need more minerals for that.
Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out, no. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love it, and you bring everything.
Our supply is insufficient.
The sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. The sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. We run every endeavor. I wanna remember.
2 gate.
Bad news. In the rear.
We don't have enough minerals. Our SPDs are under fire. They're hitting our SPDs. Command center has been upgraded. That'll cost more minerals than we have.
What's going on? Go ahead. Been waiting on you. Go ahead. What's going on?
Add-on is up and running. Need more minerals for that. We don't have enough minerals. center has been upgraded. build this.
By the numbers. Certainly. That's all. I'm going out. Yes, from above. Fair enough.
Can you hear my heartbeat calling?
This better be good.
Can you feel the love we're falling? Just take my hand and take me home tonight.
What's up, Drunken?
Throwing caution to the wind. I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me home tonight.
What's going on?
All impossibilities, yeah, you and me.
Additional supply depots required.
Ready for dust off.
We don't have enough mineral.
Now what?
Our allied base is under attack.
Wait.
Additional supply depots. Can't build there. Allied forces are under attack.
Talk to me. Ready for reporting for action.
So fast, can you find me in the dark? Oh, baby, close your eyes and listen to the beat of my heart. Take my hand, don't be
Add-on is up and running.
love like ours just can't be
That's not enough
Take
vessels.
my heart, just feel the beat. We're here tonight
More minerals. We don't have enough minerals. That'll cost more minerals than we have. Yeah, freedom. Forces have opened fire. Our NPCs are under fire. That'll We don't have enough minerals. Allied forces are under attack. We need more minerals. Our forces have engaged the enemy.
What if I get stronger? What if I get higher?
Allied forces are under attack.
Things I know I will regret. I will make my own way. I will not surrender. I will do my best until I get put under.
What's going on?
Allied forces are under attack.
GG.
SPV
SCVs? That's low.
Bad news? Big job, huh? What's going on? Go ahead. Huh? Bad. Ah! You're scared. In the rear.
Command center has been upgraded. Our SCVs are under fire.
Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized. Sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight,
What's going on?
hold tight.
Go ahead.
Our base is under attack.
All because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies. Only
Add-on complete. Our base is under attack.
make it last forever. Stop in time. Yeah, I surrender.
Add-on is up. Allied forces are under attack.
Roaches?
Chemicals collide. Hold tight,
Command center, more minerals for that. Allied forces are under attack. That'll cost more minerals. We don't have enough minerals.
paint the skies. Only you.
More minerals. We don't have enough minerals. More minerals for that. Add-on complete. We'll need more supply depots for that. Additional
What's going on? SCV ready. Armed and
add-on is that'll cost more.
SCV ready.
Allied forces are under attack.
Ready for dust off.
Upgrade is ready for you.
Ready for dust off.
I need more minerals.
Ready for dust off.
Additional supply depots required. We'll need more supply depots for that. Our base is under attack. We're hitting our SCVs. Our supply clear the landing zone. Our supply Allied forces are under attack. We'll need more supply depots for that. Add-on complete.
Talk to me. Reporting for action.
That'll cost more minerals. Nothing left in that mineral cluster. Add-on is up and running. Allied forces are under attack. We don't have enough minerals. Allied forces are under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Our allied forces are under attack. Allied forces are under attack. Our allied forces are under attack. Allied forces are under attack. Allied forces are under attack. Our base is under attack. Mineral field. Somebody, get me out of this. Hitting our SCVs. More minerals. Allied forces are under attack. That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Talk to me.
We don't have enough minerals. Our allied base is under attack. That has completely mined out a mineral field. We don't have enough minerals. Need more minerals for that. That'll cost more minerals. Our allied base is under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Allied forces are under attack. We don't have enough minerals. That'll cost more minerals than we have. Allied forces are under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Allied forces are under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Our allied base is under attack. Allied forces are under attack. Need more minerals for that. Our base is under attack. We don't have our battle is under attack.
GG. Oh, because that Zerg was left untouched. There's already like macro for free. I kept the Protoss busy. I pretty much killed the Protoss, but I couldn't deal with the Zerg. Alright, GG. I think that's enough 2v2s. I'm gonna watch some IEM games. And call it a night. There you go. What do you guys want to watch? The semifinals? Or TBT? Finals. I don't know what should I watch. Let's do...
You know what?
I'm gonna watch this one. Big Gabe beating Maru. Alright, let's watch this.
But this was still a run that very few people saw coming, and he's been around for so long. It's just amazing to see him already having the crowning achievement of his career. But can he make it any better?
Let's see if he can. In the top right-hand side, from Kaiser Gaming, he is on a run of a lifetime. Let's see if he can make it go one more time, one step further. It's Oliveira!
Did they release the replays? I am not sure.
Semi-finals, just like Oliveira had in his quarterfinals run. In the bottom left side,
Wait, how do I make this smaller?
For some lasers into the semi-finals of a world championship, but he's here and he's gonna give it to us. This is Dragon
Sick.
Phoenix Gaming's hero. Wrong team name.
Long team name when you say it out loud, yeah.
I know we can go with the DPG, but
Hey, go. Let me make this
Yeah,
smaller.
crowd's getting it. Hero getting some love, getting some excitement, getting some chants going.
I mean, these guys have also waited for a long time for some lasers, man. Like, imagine you come to Katowice as a Protoss player every single year, and you're like, yeah. All right, well, these Zergs and Terrasbury also do, yeah, no, every year. The dream
Wait.
often ended in the quarterfinals, sometimes even.
Is your
before,
resolution
but
different
not
from
this
your
time.
desktop?
Hero go up
I
against his teammate
believe
Clark.
so.
Felt like that happened a while ago, but honestly, it was one of the more one-sided series we've seen today. He just looked
Here
better,
we go.
but that is not going to help him here. PvT is a funny matchup where obviously mind games are going to be very important and momentum is a real thing. If Oliveira is able to go into like one of these cloaked Wither Mines ones relatively early, you know, a couple Hellions into some cloaked mine drops, and if Hero is not ready for it because he's stuck on Twilight Council tech for a while,
Look, I'm
that
tired.
kind of stuff can really get the ball rolling for our Terran player, but I don't know if he's willing to take too many risks in the first game. He might just be like, you know what, I know you're very aggressive, why don't I just try to defend and see how I do? Let's see if I can stabilize and I can weather the onslaught that I know you're going to bring.
Absolutely. This map, big one as well, especially to get us started here, so that's going to come into play quite heavily. That's just our first
You guys hear it?
It is very standard to start off with. No one's going to pull the trigger on any crazies just yet. We'll wait for that first tech choice, of course, from Hero expecting probably a Twilight Council. There it is going down, and the Adept here to fend off the Reaper.
Alright, I need to take some notes. PBT.
Get the confirmation of this is a Twilight.
You know what's funny? Like I was talking a little bit with Clem about this upcoming series. Obviously, I wanted to hear his thoughts going into such a big semi-final, and he's like, I was like, I kind of believe a little bit for Oliveira, man. He's really on a roll.
Quick second Rex, okay.
And Clem is like, I hope so, but Hero's just so good. And he's like, he's amazing in PvT. I was like, what makes him amazing? and he couldn't quite pinpoint it. It's not like one specific thing. It's just that Hero is incredibly good at winning games, and it sounds really stupid, but he just finds different ways to win games. I think his crisis management and the ability to analyze every unique scenario that he finds himself in so quickly and then make the correct calls is what makes him such a dangerous player in this matchup.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hero loves
Just able
Stargate
to
build
take
openers.
situations that you don't see often, and I mean, how often do we see in a Hero
Quick
attack, we're
cyclone.
Like, well, this is crazy.
Yeah,
What's
why
he
are you
doing?
attacking here? You can't do much.
Yeah.
Never mind, he wins.
Yeah, exactly, and that is like such a defining statement of Hero's play.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him great, because if he can do that and others can't, it's hard to play against him because you're playing the unexpected.
And what's cool as well is I think maybe a way to describe Hero is fearless, right? He could see something heading towards his main base, but if he believes that he's going to deal more damage on the other side of the map than he will take at home, he will just gladly take the damage. He'll be like, all right, I know it's happening, that is going to hurt, but I'll be
Click
even
stem.
more successful on the other side of the map. And that is not a call a lot of Protoss players make very often, all right? We see something heading our way, we're like, okay, we kind of got to focus on the defense. Hero just sees opportunities in offense all the time, and that is what makes him the best Protoss player in the world.
In this case, he sees exactly what's coming his way as he gets in. He sees the second barracks. He saw the stim pack started already. So first adept gets the information. Oliveira lost his scout in Reaper, so he never got to confirm. He's playing a little bit blind. He can't play with perfect information.
So he
yet.
delays his
That means
third
he's
part.
gonna be maybe not quite as prepped as he'd like to be
Okay.
against this
Cause
upcoming
normally
rush.
when I make a factory, I make a
was
start
thinking as
part
well,
right
Oliveira
away
does get
off the
job
bat.
done. He gets a TBT in the grand
So he
final.
kinda delays
This is
it
one
and
matchup where he has
waits for
truly
it later.
shined This event, even though the performance against Reina was perhaps the most impressive of all of them. And Maro is obviously known as the best TBT player in the world. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves because Hero wants to give us some more lasers. We've got the gateways, we've got our warp prism, and even though he's warping in a pylon on the other side of the map as well, that could be one of these just-in-case pylons, right? It could be a scout, right? Imagine if Oliveira sends out a Raven now or a Medevac, there is a chance that it still flies over this pylon. But on top of that,
On
if he
my
does
way.
crazy with the prism, and God forbid, but he loses the warp
Hey
prism,
Lee, thank you for
he
the
could
raid.
still be aggressive with slower warpins.
I'm watching
Absolutely.
IEM right
There's
now.
actually
How was
gases
your
behind
stream?
us, by the way, as he sets up to follow with even further tech.
I'm tired.
I'm afraid he wants to apply. He has the observer to help him pick a fight.
Did you watch
Stalkers
IEM?
Get ready over to the right, it seems, towards the main base.
I don't think I've
Some
watched this
of the
game.
surface area to be active, but not as much as in
I'm
some
Mario
of the
right
other
now.
maps in this map pool. And even though like Hero took these gases, that gives us the idea that he just wants to poke, he wants to find a little bit of damage and get further ahead as he's dropping some tech as well. I think this is one of these moments where Hero is waiting to see if
They're
it
using
all
wireless,
presents itself,
um,
right? If he's being
mouse.
dropped, he's like, hey, that means you've invested in this drop, that means less units at home, let's go for it. But if he sees nothing heading his way, he's like, okay, I gotta slow down my roll a little bit, because clearly you have been expecting this, you've been keeping every
Do you guys use
single
wireless? I
unit
use wired.
used at home. I gotta slow my roll, still find a couple SUVs if I can, but he knows that he cannot possibly win the game here.
4.
Absolutely. He's just going to be having a few more stalkers. I love this, right? Just very casually into the natural, get some damage. Now the prism in the main base, more SCVs that can go down. Oliveira has absolutely nothing here. He's chasing out in the front. And
I thought wireless the way to go. They use wireless.
Does he need to get something done because the damage in the main base is adding up already?
Yeah, it's so smart of Hero to warp in stalkers off the slope island while still being able to get some value out of his warp prism. He has warped in a couple of slow zealots. Normally not the greatest unit, but hey, it can soak up a couple of these shots of the Marines and the Marauders. And even that tank, 16 SCVs is a tremendous amount of damage in this phase of the game. And at this point, Oliveira knows, man, that all of these units that are right now making their way to the bottom side of the map, they need to get something done. But I don't know how you can get a whole lot done. Maybe he can get a cancel on the third base, right? But I think that's about as good as it's ever going to be. But he's going to stem into the
Here
next
has like
roll.
nothing.
No
What
regard
the?
for all these
No
stalkers and the
charge.
overcharge, and he gets a lot of stalkers. But Big Daddy Colossus is here to save the day. but
Big
Hero's gonna
Daddy
have to micro
Colossus.
that Colossus.
He is indeed, Roddy, because there's not a lot left, and now he's going to start taking a lot of probe damage, and Oliveira's got a choice to make. He splits some units to the Colossus. The Colossus goes
Oh
down.
my
Oliveira
God.
on the counterattack, and he's up into Hero's main base, and we have got a bit of an upset to start this series.
Hero got
He's
wrecked.
about to admit defeat, Roddy. He's got nothing left.
Everything
What was that?
forward, and time with these fist
I
bumps
think
that we've seen
Hero should just drop Zealots instead of dropping Stalkers. That was a waste of Stalkers. He should have harassed from Zealots. And then had the rest of the army at home.
That's normally where things just don't end well for the Terran player. player.
Yeah.
He stamped and he said, no, I don't want to get a
If he
close
should have
shot
saved
in
those
the first place.
stalkers.
I feel I can fight this army of stalkers and sentries only. That was obviously correct, but normally the
Because he
Colossus
couldn't
is
slow down the
overcharged
push
there
with
to
the
save
stalkers,
day.
right?
Time was incredibly decisive, but Hero absolutely messed up a little bit with the Colossus micro. It was being targeted, and he moved it forward into the Terran army.
Nah, even if he saves that Colossus, he still can dive in
Marines specifically, where he's like, I don't want my Colossus to shoot
with the
at Marines.
bio.
I wanted to shoot at Marines, but a Colossus without a battery or any protection is going to fall rather quickly.
What I'm amazed about is the fact that this wasn't like overly greedy at home from Hero.
This guy is praying. He's
He's
like,
he didn't like rush a third base during all of this and skip and delay the attack, and it just wasn't all there ready to go.
He should have not died there, he knows it, and I think that's why you could see the facial expressions as well, where he's like, that was not supposed to happen, because you're right? If he's playing a low gas style, but he's exploding up to 4 bases, double forge, and then this kind of stuff happens where you're like, okay, I underestimated
here, I'll skip to it.
the run of a lifetime. Man, I'm getting goosebumps for this guy. This is just amazing. It really feels like you're watching somebody's dreams come true. And he's not there yet, of course, but he is just playing an absolutely fantastic tournament. So is this man, and I think one map loss does not mean that he's out of this at all. In the bottom right side of Dragon Skills, it felt that everything went right for him until it didn't. Can he turn things around? This is our Korean Brothers Hero.
What a map to just go across the map on as well. Altitude, like, it does not. You don't just get across there real quickly, right? You know, maybe if it was Dragon Skills, you can walk across. I'm like, okay, sure, but altitude?
And like, if that was ever going to work, I feel like most of the time it works because the Protoss makes an obvious mistake. They're not paying attention to the stalkers on the left side. Like, they blink them away and then they stop running because they think the Terran.
I want to say hi to my mom. Hi,
Hi,
Mom.
A few more stalkers than they're supposed to. Then you can see it working. But I don't even think that Hero in his retreat really messed up. The only point where he started to mess up was in the natural, but just all kudos to Tyman for being as decisive as he was. I believe that the Terran players like to
How do you say his name?
"It's not to win,"
Oliveira?
and he never looked
Oliveira?
back.
He did. say the word, didn't he, as this pro wants
Vera.
to be as
Vera.
much of an annoyance as possible,
Vera.
perhaps try and delay the command center by a few moves. It is Marine first, which is something the pro would love to pick up on while keeping itself alive. Obviously, try and figure out that timing in the next few moments, as this is now officially a delayed natural.
Yep. Hero will obviously know that he's going to have to clean things up a little bit. A lot of things were going well. We could see some of that trademark great aggressive hero play where even against a Terran that didn't invest in a medevac drop or Raven harass or Liberator harass, he found damage. Like, that's kind of crazy. The moment that Oliveira felt it was the right moment to move out, he was able to find some damage and things were looking quite good for Hero. We know that he is no stranger to the Stargate, and he's definitely willing to play a little bit of Phoenix Colossus once in a blue moon. And
There's
is
the
our
Stargate.
first Stargate. Could also be, of course, an Oracle into Twilight play. That's also something that Hero likes, but wouldn't be too surprised to see a little Phoenix Colossus coming out of Hero in this series.
Very safe, very defensive, maybe see a bit of a longer game here, right? Get actually up into those tech units and then be able to put those into play. And try and find those, you know, aggressive offensive attacks that you are so well known for. So, yeah, I'm with you. I feel like Phoenix is a very valid option here. And specifically, like you say, Phoenix into Colossi.
I like that probe being on patrol on the left side. And that probe actually gives me the idea that it's probably Phoenix, but we're about to find out. Is it Phoenix? Is it Oracle? Both are obviously perfectly fine choices. But if he would go for Phoenix, it makes sense. The rally point is suggesting Oracle, though. So he is going to open things up with an Oracle. And now that probe is actually going to build a pylon already. Hero will come up with waves of aggression that don't make sense. But if he's doing it, everything seems to make sense.
He's
when
doing
it
the
comes
same
to
build
Protoss.
again.
Yeah, just going Oracle into basic gateway units. So
Times
units that will
going
not
two
benefit from
two barracks.
Charge of the Twilight Council or
Cyclope.
Blink of the Twilight Council. That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But it is going to be like basically a 3-gate Oracle opener with a slightly later Twilight.
Which is very, very interesting, right? I mean, it just sort of maybe the thing that Hero does sometimes that no one else really does. It's that little bit random and you don't quite know exactly what you're up against. He takes another gateway Roddy, so
Yeah,
we're really adding this up.
Then it should be 4-gate Blink Stalker, right? That's the only thing that really makes sense. So he's going to make it seem, okay, this Oracle, by the way, is flying into the main base. I have the feeling that the Cyclone is not even moving yet. I think for his
Oh, if the Oracle went to the maid
or something,
first.
you know?
Oh, he's gonna.
No,
He would've killed workers.
good luck on gets broken, but that was awfully close. Hero knows that he dodges a little bullet there. But this is annoying for Hero because this Oracle is important for various reasons. Not just the ability to activate Pulsar Beam and pick off SCVs or help out in the fight. But that Oracle needs to make its way to this latch that our observer is showing because Hero wants to blink into the main base. And if you don't have that Oracle there, you've got no high ground vision. So taking that much damage on the Oracle is already a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be extremely difficult to maintain this attack, basically, and that's going to put Hero in, like you say, an odd spot, a tougher spot than he would like to be in, and all because that Cyclone really stretched to stay stuck onto it as long as possible. Starport about to finish up here as well. We'll have that to add some further tech into play, and we do have our first medevac coming out. The stim's about to be done, man. I'm not sure we can do anything with Bling.
Yeah, no, I like the builds that Oliveira has gone for because it's a lot of units. I have the feeling when Hero shines the most in this matchup, it's against the Terrans, who's like, oh, Reaper, Hellion, little Widowmine drop, but then 8 Stalkers blink into the main base and you've got nothing. But I think with the openings that Oliveira has gone for so far, he just very quickly has a lot of firepower. Now, I don't think he should be moving out, but obviously he found a lot of success with it in the previous game. I think that Hero's probably a little bit surprised by this as well. Blink is not quite done yet. I wouldn't hate a second pylon in the front Hero. I think that's kind of mandatory because you don't want to see the shield bearer be unpowered.
Oh, he missed the medevac. That's if he starts that medevac, that's huge.
All hell is breaking loose here in the semifinals. Can Hero defend the army this time around?
Let's find out.
He needed to kill that
These tanks
medevac.
get set up, man, onto the natural. It feels like then we're going to have a tough time as Hero, but he's doing a good job of buying time. The Stalkers have forced an early warp, and he's got the other Stalkers ready to flank as well. And of course, now Oliveira has no retreat possible. So here we go. These Stalkers, they're just going to get one more Marine for a moment, but yeah, I feel as though we're cutting off reinforcements, and with that, Oliveira's not gone soon enough.
How can Oliveira ever get home, man? There are Stalkers everywhere. He is going to try. Hero will not let these tanks go home easily as he blinks forward, tries to get the man.
Run.
He marines him one more time. Where are the other Stalkers, Hero? There they are. They blink from the bottom of our screen on top of this army.
Yep,
and Hero
Blink Stalkers
will
could
clean
use it.
this up in the end. But economically, this is still not all that bad. The biggest problem is right now there are 15 Stalkers against 6 Marines. Oliveira truly needed these tanks at home to stabilize. And
Hero's
we know
micro's
Hero
so
will
good.
never give you time to stabilize if you need it the most.
In we go with the blink, and this one should be just a contract that's already signed. GG's Hero is gonna
Yeah, I don't think he should have moved out until he has medevacs out.
Yeah, I have to question Oliveira's decision to move out there in the first place. Like, you have to know who you're dealing with, right? If you're going up against, let's say, Stats in his prime, you know that he's going to just crank out as many probes as possible. He's going to go up to 3 bases. He might poke you a little bit to slow you down, but that's when you know you can punish a greedy Protoss. But Hero is the guy that's going to attack you. So if you, instead of just focus on defending with a bunker and the immediate reinforcements and the SCVs around, just sit back, you're going to have an advantage. But the moment you're attacking into the dude that's going to attack you, he will pretty much be ready because he's already making a lot of units because it's Hero.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. It's
His offense is
it's not
right
good,
100.
right? And I think you've got to think as well, what is he doing? I've seen one Oracle and nothing else. No second Oracle or anything. So he's going into something, and yeah, you just got overwhelmed too quickly. I mean, if he could have maybe got across slightly faster, but Hero was just so well set up. He did everything he had to buy time and shut it down.
Maybe Oliveira was hoping that the Oracle into like a couple of Phoenixes hiding at home or something, right? Because if it would be Oracle into Phoenix Colossus, then yeah, the 2 tanks and a in the top right side, we are looking in the main base of our Protoss player, tying things up after making a lot of Stalkers in the previous game. This is our Korean Protoss spawning in the blue, Hero. Hero looks very cool, by the way, in his Dragon Phoenix gaming jacket.
He really suits. Like, he wears it with style.
Yeah, I just want to get it off my chest, man. He looks super cool. Does look like a champion, but...
Very, very cool as well.
Got a
this is
proxy.
cool fast second gateway across the map.
Ooh,
Or do you think maybe something else?
No, I think they're spot on there, because we already have a pylon and a gate at home. Hero,
You know, I haven't dealt with
a
proxy
little
votaries
note
in a
of the
while.
Max Packs playbook, even though that's obviously
Since
the
it got
original
nerfed.
Max Packs build is very different, right? That was the pylon into another pylon into a gateway. But this is something that we have seen Protoss players use. Okay,
You guys remember the old
especially
votaries?
the Sterile
1Vs
players that play rather blind.
with shield
But make no
batteries.
mistake, this kind of stuff is a pretty big investment. But while I'm saying that, I've also been absolutely stunned by the ability of world-class Protoss players to spend all these resources on this kind of stuff and then still sometimes turn it into a relatively normal game where it's like, no, now I can expand, now I can drop my tech. I always feel like if you open up like this, like, you're all in. This, by the way, is best case scenario for Hero. This is absolutely what he's hoping for. Reaper into CC on the low ground. Things could not play out better here in the early game for Hero.
Yep, this is going to be very difficult for Oliveira to turn around, and obviously, especially without taking any amount of damage, CC is going to get delayed from building for a long time. There is a Marine at least coming after that Reaper.
Yep, and Oliveira is a world-class Terran player, as we've seen throughout this entire tournament. He has to know that the timing of that Nexus is not totally
He
correct.
knows.
There's not enough HP on that Nexus, so he immediately knows something is up. He's going to send this Reaper to the left side. He sees the pylon, sees the gateway, but how do you keep the CC alive? He's going to try to pull a lot of SCVs immediately. I love this man because it's better to overreact than to underreact, but this can also fall completely flat on its face. Maybe it would have been sick to hide the SCVs actually. Imagine if you could surround the Adept, but getting the bunker up is definitely the first way to stabilize.
Yep, if the bunker gets up, then this becomes a lot easier, and of course, during this, the big thing is you are keeping that CC building.
I'm surprised he didn't build a Zealot first, then Adept. He went Adept first.
Command center gets to finish easily.
Wow, this was great, man. I love how serious Oliveira took this. He obviously got the scout off. Hero needs to get something done. He definitely want to raise the depots. Can't even find the one SCV that was still building the orbiter. He's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to get at least one SCV for my trouble. I gotta say, this is picture perfect defense by a Chinese Terran so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's no damage being taken at all. These Adepts just kind of get stuck here while hitting a depot, so the Reaper will pop out and keep on pinging that one down. Just make sure shields don't regen, so you can potentially get a kill on this. And
Good micro.
just some cool micro between the two. Is obviously this is the highest level of play in the world, Roddy.
Yep, Reaper is gonna get one more shot off, gets the Adept, and it does not die. We're gonna relocate the command center real quick. Hero's like, hey, can I block it? Nope, too late. Adept's too
If that was
slow.
me, I would have lost all my
This one
Marines
has
and that
already been
Reaper.
built on the other side of the map, and I do believe that that Reaper finally went down. And at this point, Hero just has one mission, and that is just make sure that this goes on for as long as possible. Try to pick up any SCVs that get built on the low ground, like that one. And yeah, just try to buy some time for his Twilight Council to kick in as he fires up Blink on the other side of the map.
And he's got a little way to go until Blink, as the Cyclone out obviously really does put an end to this Adept harassment. In the end, there was five Adepts built, I guess. He's lost 2 already, so quite the investment from Hero in terms of units. The Adepts will not commit here. Obviously, that's just Adepts, and it's with so many units at this point. Any potential for Oliveira to get going before Blink's done, do we think, or are we just sitting back?
Since he's once more investing in very quick stim, I almost would say that that's not necessary, but perhaps, I mean, economically it's not looking all that bad. Hero does go up to 3 bases, by the way, 4 minutes and 20 seconds, and now I just want to mention that eventually that Reaper did go down, right? That Reaper got a little bit too greedy one time leaving the bunker, the Adept one-shotted it. Now it would be so sweet for Oliveira if that Reaper was still alive, because you could bring it back into the main base, hop it to the low ground, and then send it to the other side of the map, because this is the kind of information that's really hard to get as a Terran player. But Reapers are great scouting units. Losing that one after he already picked up the first Adept is actually very unfortunate. I have one question for you, by the way, Waddy. Why do you think Hero did not open up with the Zealot? Because I feel most of the time when we see guys at
That's
this
what
level,
that's what I
go for
said.
the
He didn't go
process
Zealot
and fight
first.
on the other side of the map. They always open up with the Zealot from home that they rally to the other side of the map.
He did start the Zealot, right, as well. I'm sure I saw it in production, and then, you're right, never showed up. Yeah, I don't really know. Maybe just something with being able to get the Nexus down faster if you skip the Zealot, and yeah, that's pretty much my only assumption, and then you just don't feel like the Zealot was going to do enough.
Because normally the Zealot is there to buy some time, right? Because it can go for the SCV. Will it get any kills? No, but it can stop the SCV from building the bunker. It can stop the SCV from building the command center. And while you get those couple of very precious seconds, that's when the Adept shows up, and that's when the Adept starts killing stuff. But without the Zealot, it obviously became a little bit easier for Oliveira to get all of these buildings finished.
Maybe just the timing to get across the map on this one. It's a great question, actually, because it is very odd compared to what we usually see. As we do have our Stalkers obviously getting ready to be aggressive, talking about Hero, and it's obviously very normal for him as those Adepts got through, and obviously high ground vision is a big thing here for the Stalkers.
Yep, Hero does have a robotics facility as well, as he's got a War Prism, and he's got an Observer in the main base as well, I believe. And his graphics Observer just got picked up, by the way, so now these Adepts, if they could shade into the main base one more time, would indeed be absolutely fantastic. Hero really switching up, by the way.
He's going charge this time.
Quickly, exploding with gateways on the other side of the map. Charge is already on the way this time around. But once more, I don't hate where this game is going for Oliveira at all. but obviously he's gonna have to win a fight eventually. And I do think it's possible to win a fight once the medevacs are out, +1 weapons kicks in for the bio units, but he's gonna need a slightly bigger army if he wants to run to the other side of the map, because Zealots are incredibly good against small Terran armies, but they really fall off the bigger the bio ball gets.
He's out of position right now, going for that gateway, so Hero will know that he might be able to strike if this is something he's wanting to do. The Adepts will commit into the natural for the first time, looking for some kills. Haven't really found any yet, just now getting to 2 SCVs. Can we make it a third? Yes, we can. The Stalkers decide not to commit. They are just going to stand steady out
Big
the front
scout,
of the base.
very big scout here. One brave little Marine from time on the other side of the map saw the third base, and on top of that it sees no gases in the natural. So time at this point knows, like, wait a minute, you've got no upgrades. Doesn't seem like you are going tech heavy, and I don't have to worry about any Colossus. I have to worry about a lot of Protoss units as the Cyclone gets the lock on the War Prism.
Oh,
That
nice.
would be massive
Got the
for
prism.
Oliver, and he gets the prism without really taking a whole lot of damage.
The Stalkers try to go at the front, but the tanks defended as well, so that's not going to get anywhere. 4 SCVs, but
That was
there's
a free
counter-attack.
prism.
Hero is more or less shut down already. This is not what he's looking for, man, and he is going to get out of grid and all sorts here.
And this is where the army supply starts looking like maybe it's time for the Terran to start getting adventurous, right? Because Hero clearly wanted to get pretty far ahead with a lot of Stalkers and Zealots, and then he transitions. But the attack got stopped before it ever truly got going, and now Hero's gonna have to deal with a pretty big Terran army. We're looking close at 80 army supply with pure Zealots and Stalkers that are 0-0. Even if your name is Hero, this is going to be a very difficult defense.
It absolutely is. We've got like a lone immortal has sent through to try and give us some hope, but it is going to be tough. These dogs will do everything they can. A couple of Zealots are going to go either flank or counter-attack.
Yeah, that's smart that Hero's already thinking about this stuff. Oliveira is also thinking about it, so he wants more sent an individual Marine forward. Hero remade another Prism. I think at this point it's not so much about Prisms, more about battle units. A Templar Archives is done, one Archon is on the way, but one Archon not necessarily fantastic. Hero will go for it, immediately activates Guardian Shield. He thinks he's got enough Zealots, body.
He does indeed. This bio runs through the tanks, using them as a choke point. The blast tank going through, and it is going to fall down now. The Stalkers took a lot of damage from those tanks. With all the Zealots gone, the bio looking kind of scary still. The upgrades are obviously massive for Oliveira in these fights. Being just up +1 even is big for him.
Saving that Marauder there is big as well, right? Now the Medevacs can do their thing, and Hero really needs to have something going.
Oh, pulling the
Oliveira,
boys.
despite the fact that he's got 3 bases, right? I'm not kidding.
Pull the
Am I crazy? He's
boys.
got triple orbital. Can we go ahead and confirm this real quick? 3 orbitals. He's still going to pull the SCVs because he knows that SCVs are fantastic against Zealots. They can create the force field that Terran players dream of, and he wants to hit before Storm, and I think he's doing it. And what a read by Oliveira.
Oh, what a read. Liberators are sieging up the probes pull in as we have a worker fight on the front lines, but Oliveira cleaves through that one. And he's going to stop Storm! No splash damage apart from a single Archon, and it's going to be kind of sad here as it runs to the left side. We can start another as well. The Liberators are already setting up for that part. The gateways are being unpowered, and Oliveira with 1-1 is looking great here, Roddy.
Oliveira with a soul read on this game. He knew that this was the moment to pull the boys. Now the bio army is a little bit overstimmed, and there are a couple of Immortals on the left, but Liberators are making sure that there is Terran justice in this part of the semifinals as well. Hero has lost 41.
His
points.
army
Lost
was
the army
like
on the left side.
split
And
up.
Nexus has like 10 HP. There is pulling the boys, and there is pulling the boys at the greatest moment to ever do it. And this was the moment for Oliveira.
What a call, Roddy. I mean, like you say, he's set up for the macro game, and he just realizes, I've got a killing move right here. He does not hesitate, and it was perfect because he stops that storm. The one thing that could have stopped him, the Nexus falls, the Stalkers are going down, and I think we're saying goodbye to Hero for game number 3 as Oliveira is going to have a lead once again.
Dang, his
in the
2 base
semifinals.
push is so
Another
strong.
cancel on units, and this is it. GG. Oliveira is a match away from the grand finals.
What a call and what a read by this man. Did he have to pull the SCVs? Was he in a bad spot? No, he could have played a normal game. But after that initial skirmish where he picked up all the Zealots, was able to save the majority of his bio.
This, if you're going to win it, if you're going to keep going on. How Red Terran play from Kaiser Game. He's a map away from getting it done. It's Oliveira.
In the bottom right side, the man who has won multiple IEM championships in the early days of StarCraft 2. Those were not held in Katowice, but he knows what it feels like to make it to a final of IEM tournament. He needs to win 2 games in a row to get there again. This is Hero. gotta say the defense of Oliveira as well against that first Stalker Zealot.
Oliveira.
How many times haven't we seen Hero just straight up kill a Terran player? Where he's like, relatively easy game. Haha, it's not, because I'm Hero and I will find a way to pick the Terran apart. But the Cyclone micro around the Zealots that got hopped or that got unloaded from the War Prism, the immediate scan, so we didn't have that moment like, oh, is he going to get the War Prism? No, he was always going to get the War Prism. Oliveira is just so clutch this tournament. We've seen it in TVT, then he blew us away.
I like his cycle opener and quick barracks. So he skips the start part, so he pretty much he gets his tech up first and make a start part.
People are like, which is the dark horse, you know? Who do you think is gonna go very far that you don't necessarily think people are gonna go very far?
Oh, that's because he knows Hero likes to go Stargate. But actually, he still does it even though. He probably could do the same build again. But one thing is, you could, what the build he's doing, you could die to DTs unless you save scan. Because you're not building a Raven at all.
I'm his fan as well. You know that man is from Birmingham.
I know very well who he is. Don't worry.
I think a DT build will
Don't ask me why.
be a hard counter.
Whoever gets the probe here is going to be able to knock that one out, and that's obviously just less information for Hero, and obviously nice for, you know, Oliveira to know it's not on the map proxying something for the moment.
I'm off.
Even if you get an eBay, it doesn't matter because you still can do a lot of damage for DTs before you ever turn it up, right? And you gotta make sure you have scans available. So I guess, I mean, it's better than nothing having eBay. So yeah, I guess somewhat safe. Because you have scan and you just build turrets and buy time.
There's just been too many twists, too many turns. Oliveira coming in here and just gonna sit behind the mineral line. And obviously, if the Adept comes here to chase it off, he can jump in the main perhaps. So,
I think he's doing the same build again.
We have that second barracks on the way. Oh, move the Reaper! No, you cannot lose a Reaper this early, but will barely escape. The Adept just needed one more hit. And if an Adept is able to fire twice at the Reaper, that's kind of when you know as a Protoss that you have it.
Yep. He's not even go for a mind drop. He always goes cycle first.
In the end, Oliveira dodges a bullet there. It's Phoenix, by the way, straight up Phoenix. We were talking a little bit about.
How come, why is Hero going Stargate so much? It's not working for him.
There's an odd battery in the main base, right? I don't know if we addressed it or you've addressed it. No. Never really seen that battery. I don't think it really interferes a whole lot with the mining, but this is one of these batteries, though, that if there's ever a Widowmine drop in this game, which I know is hard against Phoenix.
I think a Colossus build just will counter. It is, yes. Either way, yeah, Stargate is good. I mean, Stargate is always good, but
Oliveira's consistently going for fast second racks and stem.
I guess if you just want to play Phoenix Colossus on 2 base, it's always kind of safe, right? Isn't that like, you know, it can be hard against certain tank pushes, but I'm with you. Like, technically, the way that Hero has been playing with Blink Stalkers, and that's the unit that he loves the most, that is not bad against the stuff that Oliveira is doing. Like, Blink Stalkers
Phoenix
are probably,
Colossus,
in theory, on paper, better than the Phoenix build here, but maybe Hero just feels like he needs something else because he's not feeling it, and he feels like he's not making the correct calls in the heat of the moment like he normally does. So, yeah, maybe just to flip the script here
like,
and change
see,
the
he
tempo
delays
a bit.
his third part.
But I absolutely understand what you're saying, because technically, if you would ever tell Protoss like, hey, this is the build that the Terran is doing, there are very few Protoss players out there that would be like, you know what, Phoenix, that's what I want as my opening.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Because normally, you know, when you finish your factory, you instantly build a start part right after. But he's doing a different build.
Obviously, we'll need a battery on this natural, and just needs to make sure he doesn't skip gateway units if there is going to be a push is coming his way.
I find the third base now pretty ambitious.
That makes sense because you don't really need start part units until later, after your upgrades are done. Your goal is to get an army out first.
Right? I think we have Cyclone into tank. Do we have tanks this time around?
No.
Okay, well then it actually works out in a 300 IQ manner for Hero. Because that is the one unit that Oliveira absolutely needs here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we'll see what he does. First two medevac's coming up, and obviously we're lining up that +1 in combat shield very shortly as well, so Oliveira will be looking for something at least when those upgrades are finished. There's no way he's going to sit back forever. Hero, everything on the way for him. Third base, Colossus +1. It's just a matter of can he truly get there safely? Well, let's see.
Right, that's where you know it's
Throw that observer was
as they throw down the scan.
Was a
immediately.
waste, I think.
Phoenixes do show up. They're gonna lift a couple of SCVs. 4 SCVs is decent.
I think he
Very
needed that
important
Zerver
that
alive.
the Phoenix survives. As Phoenix are
Now
very
look, now
expensive
Times
units.
is just gonna
And
drop him.
Oliveira, after picking up the Observer and knowing where the Phoenixes are, picks up 60 Marines immediately. He's gonna try to unload them in the main base, but Hero has a spotting unit at the bottom side of the map. I don't know what that is, but this adapt could very well be the MVP.
Oh, he's moved it.
If
Wait.
this adapt can spot the double drop, because if all these Marines unload in the main base, Hero is in all sorts of trouble, Waddy. This adapt needs to see these medevacs, and I think he moved it a little
I need to be more sneaky from medevacs. I fly right across the map instead of like going around corners.
Enough units around. They are starting to head back down to the bottom side, so maybe the Phoenix can help. As the Adapt is going to see this, the medevacs are in the bottom of the map, so there should be at least a chance to deny this a little bit. The boost comes in from Oliveira. He's heading for the main, but so is Hero.
Immediate recall, MVP, but we need a little more, because if all the units unload, 4 Phoenixes cannot fight this Hero, as he loses one of the Phoenix immediately. That Stalker was swapped in on the wrong side, and the guys are stimming for it. They're going to try to get on top of this overcharged battery immediately. That's a lot of pros falling. Where is the Colossus when you need it the most?
It's
Oh, no.
12 workers already down. We killed a few Phoenix. We killed some Stalkers. The Colossus is off and away.
Now his third
There's
base is
an attack on the
getting
right side. Hero's third
sniped.
base is under fire, and Oliveira's all over him. A Colossus and a dead. What are you gonna do? You can't save this base, and Widowmines are gonna blow stuff up as well. And Oliveira's on fire, Roddy.
StarCraft 2 history, our Terran player from China seems to be doing it. We've already called him the best player from China ever to be produced, but this right here is an unprecedented run. He's all over Hero. He's found a crazy amount of damage. He's not there yet, but I'm with you. That went even better than I think Oliveira could have dreamed it would go for us. He gets another lock on, throws down the scan as well. Hero needs to take a little moment for himself. He's running around the map right now in the center. Why are we here? Do we need to be here? No. He's trying to punish, I guess, a little minor overextension, but Hero, this is not the kind of army where you normally end games with, mate. You don't have any
Phoenix, that's the last
Hero
Phoenix.
feels that he has taken too much damage and he wants to end it, but how does he ever end it with this army?
I don't think he does, Roddy. Not with Oliveira pulling back. He realizes, man, hey, you're coming at me. You haven't rebuilt your base. Widowmines are just killing units as they come. Oliveira's going to get ready to defend this natural and potentially advance to the grand finals. SCV's pre-pull. What do you do as Hero?
Well, he's gonna try. He's gonna try to bust down this bunker and micro the hell out of that one Immortal, one Colossus. He queues up a Disruptor now. It feels a little bit disoriented. It's all over the place. We're warping in slow Zealots, but Oliveira's army is big. It's powerful. Hero needs the best.
Nah, he can't break this. Only way he can break this if he has Archons, but there's no way he has enough.
Prism goes down. There's no more reinforcements. The Vikings are going to go for the Colossus. Oliveira's going to take down the army. Hero doesn't have anything left. His army's gone. Oliveira wipes him out. One more Colossus to chase, and Oliveira
GG.
can himself and take it to the grand finals.
It's StarCraft 2 history for Oliveira. It's StarCraft 2 history for the Chinese scene. I cannot believe it, but Oliveira is doing it. He is going to give us the TVT Grand Finals at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. We saw his TVT was great in the beginning of this tournament. He blew us away with the TVZ skills, but against Protoss Wadi, this man also knows what he's doing as he's going to split one more time. But history is in the making. It's Oliveira's time.
Super Battery keeps the Disruptor alive. Hero is going to hang on to any hope he possibly can, but the supplies just are not there for him. He's got one Disruptor that's on cooldown. Super Battery's about to fade. Here comes a Colossus to try and be the hero of the day, but Hero needs more than a hero for himself right now. There's just no way. Surely we dive on in. The Colossus is going to go down, but the Disruptor doesn't get it because Oliveira's still watching. He is going to lift up. Hero keeps on warping in, but there's just not enough. Even if you push this back, you're down 40 army supply.
Get ready for one of the most emotional pop-offs you've ever seen of a StarCraft 2 player, because Oliveira's been feeling it throughout this tournament.
Oh my
This
god.
is so big for this man.
GG.
I cannot believe what we just saw, but Oliveira makes it into the grand finals of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2023. Amazing.
Absolutely incredible. You cannot believe it. It felt desperate.
To start the grand finals of the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice
I'm gonna watch this, or I already watched this though.
versus Oliveira.
Actually, I only watched a few games. I didn't watch the whole best of the 7. Did I watch game 1? I was not sure.
To prep their builds, they've had to go over exactly how they're going to approach each map.
There, this is the finals.
Will it be a macro game? But it's now or never, Artosis.
Yep, the map is loading up. We're going to go to Dragon Scales first. A very important game number 1 in this best of 7. Let's get it started.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, he is Maru.
Maru.
And his opponent in the upper left, in the blue, from China, he is Oliveira.
Oliveira. Dude, that place is packed.
Right now, right here, game number 1. This is where you set the pace for how you are going to approach this match. I feel like it is a very important game for Oliveira because Maru has so much experience in grand finals, right? He's won so many top-tier tournaments. For Oliveira, like, he hasn't done that, but he's beaten the players who have. He has played completely solidly. He has mixed in a lot of tricky stuff as well. What are we going to see from him? What does he do in the most important match, literally, that you can ever have in StarCraft 2?
It's going to be so interesting to see. And I think you're 100% right, Artosis. I don't think that Maru's heart rate changes at all as he walks onto the big stage in one of the most important moments in his StarCraft career. But for Oliveira, you know, obviously he's a player who comes into tournaments like this, I think with the best attitude you can have, which is, I'm going to get as far as I can, right? Well, he's gotten farther than pretty much anybody else. He's now here with Maru, the last 2 players left.
Yeah, and how do you hold in your excitement? How do you keep those nerves steady? Well, he's done it so far. He's come from behind against the best players in the world champions, giant tournament champions, without any problem. So I don't know what it is about Oliveira that has changed, but it feels like he is up to the task.
So we've got the 2 players scouting each other out right now. Nothing too crazy so far as far as builds. We didn't have any proxies. We didn't have any super greedy expansion plays. But for now, we're just going to see both players tech up to the factory.
That's right. A quicker reactor here for Maru, so going to give a little boost to his production while Oliveira just continues to make Reapers one at a time. Command centers on the way at exactly the same time as well. Very, very similar builds, but not 100% the same.
Standard build.
And there are many different branches from this point here in the build that they can go into. So we're going to wait a little bit more and then kind of see what direction this game's going to go. We have both players taking a command center. That's very standard. But TVT over the last couple of years has proven to have some very interesting and sometimes very scrappy two-base fights.
Yeah,
Wouldn't mind.
we could see something like that here. For instance, if
Reapers
we
at
just keep
home.
going on the production
You had to leave
early
your
in
Reapers at
Reaper
home
for
in
Maru,
TVT.
then that reactor will kick in, and he'll actually have
Just think
more
about it.
Reapers
They're
than
doing the same
Oliveira.
thing,
That
right?
might be a time that he wants to attack.
If you're gonna move out, they have Reapers at home defending.
Game goes
You have to
on
wait
here. The Reapers are going to be
until
gathered up
you
over
have
here at the
enough to move
entrance.
out.
Same thing over here for Maru as well. Now, we have had a game at this tournament, I can't remember off the top of my head which one it was, where both players literally went by each other on the map. The way this map is shaped, moving from the bottom to the top or from the top to the bottom, it's occasionally you can end up with one player on one side, the other on the other. So we want to watch for that here because
It's best
the builds
just
are
to
similar,
like
similar enough, they may end up having
you
a similar
just
kind
your
of
goal is just to
attack
build
here.
up. You just
that
play
definitely
defense.
could occur. Now, we have a Cyclone coming out for Oliveira, a little bit more standard. He does have that mine at the front as well, just in case any attacks come up. Maru, on the other hand, getting that medevac very quickly as well as a siege tank. So we do see a little bit of deviation in both sides, and it seems like Maru is going to be the first one that really tries to either attack or harass his opponent.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to see him being the
He has
first
a
one
towel on his
on
mouth.
the map here. We do have a Raven for Oliveira about
funny.
halfway to completion here. Pretty standard.
You don't wanna be
Stuff as
slipping.
the medevac is going to pick up for Maru. Headed northbound.
Oh, he's gonna drop the-
Meanwhile,
he's gonna drop the low
Brazil's
ground.
forces are going to be probably coming out to
And
the ramp,
elevate.
over at the entrance of Oliveira's base. There's a blind.
On my way.
There was a blind spot up in the main, but he's going to go over here.
Hey,
You'll
AT
see
Racer,
that.
thank you for the raid.
It looks like the intentions here are for Maru to try to elevate
How
her
was your
units
stream?
up into the main like this. He
Oh,
does
thank you for the
take,
sub too. Yeah.
up inside the medevac and
For
then
9
dropped
months.
off over here within range of the starport.
Ooh, this is going to be...
Let-
Already.
Oh man, Maru
Dang,
getting
that did a lot of
the
damage.
siege tank as well as a lot of units, healing up a lot with this medevac as well. Maru's first attack looking so strong.
And auto turret's going to go down here as the SCVs are pulled. The tank goes down. The Hellions now being pushed up against the wall, but it's still so much damage. 8 SCVs have been taken out so far.
This is an incredible
Did you watch IU?
damage put on from
I missed some
Maru to
games,
kill
so
that many
I'm watching
SCVs.
again.
He is way up in workers, plus 10 in that regard. There are some things going for Olivier, like he has a couple Ravens, but this
I know,
attack isn't
time.
even done yet.
I don't know what happened, but he's like playing so well. I think it's the patch. Kappa.
Man, and already GG is called. Maru takes game number 1 about as quickly as you can in this matchup.
Okay, so I think that could have gone better for Oliveira, but you could see there were some small errors in the execution. Idea-wise, he was prepared for the possibility of a drop. It's funny because when we were casting it, we had turned off vision of each player for a second. It looked like it was going to be
That was a good move for him.
in the main, and then maybe
He elevated his units up.
But then as we got vision again, we realized he's going to go what we call is like an elevator strat, or you know, the ferrying strat, where you take fill up the medevac, dump units in the main, and then fill it up again and do it. And it seemed like even though Oliveira was
for a night.
ready
Alright,
as
have a
a
good night,
defense
AT's Racer.
for this,
Thanks for
he
the
didn't have
raid
right
again.
unit comp to also deal with a tank if it was planted there. The tank was actually the special unit in that rush that made everything fall apart because the tank was kept alive. He protected it well. Siege tank shots, a couple of those accumulating over time, and you're going to be in a lot of trouble, Artosis.
Yeah,
Gotta get straight to the game.
Let's see
Keep forgetting.
what these openers are going to be. It looks like Maru does
Proxy
want to do a
T-Rex.
double barracks proxy opener. So he is sending out 2 early SCVs, going to make a couple barracks. Is this going to be Reaper? I mean, we have seen some craziness like proxy Marauder builds from Hero Marine, but
There's no way that's Marauder
proxy.
Reaper.
A lot of Reaper pressure.
Could be. We did see the observer hinting to us that maybe he could land it up there, like a liftoff. I don't know if that's.
You want to watch the whole thing?
I do want to talk about the fact that Maru
We're going straight to the
has a long
game.
history of proxying more than at times in StarCraft 2's history, more than all the other Terrans. There were, I think, the year that he actually won like several GSLs in a row was mostly off the back of proxies.
Yes.
Another indicator of you know, this being such a Maru-esque move is a lot of players proxy after they've lost a game.
Yes, that's true.
He's the kind of guy that wins a game and then will cheese you out in game 2.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he did a pretty quick attack in the last game. It was still a macro opener, but he attacked very quickly, and he's going to attack again here. Now, that right there is a very quick reactor. Is that going to hurt Oliveira, or is that going to help him? Being able to produce a couple of Reapers at a time, very, very good, but having none to start, that's a bit scary.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the reactor, it takes a long time to make.
Reactor Reaper.
Terran is, defense-wise, a bit naked here. And as we all know, when Reapers come out, you just need a couple of them to stay alive and keep dealing damage, and the game can snowball very quickly.
Well, right now, Maru is waiting for that second Reaper. You never go in with the first one because it gives away what you're doing. You need that second one in case your opponent has a Reaper as well. So here comes Maru's second Reaper. It's time to jump up there, but the Reapers are only halfway done for Oliveira right now.
He's going to come in here. He can maybe deny. No, he does not deny the factory from finishing, but he gets that first SCV. Looks like the second SCV is going to be killed. He comes in, but he can't quite reach those Reapers. A third SCV is going to be dropped as this is getting so bad for Oliveira.
It really, really is. The Reapers are popping out. So he has 2 now against 3, which is a little bit better, but taking a lot of damage on his SCVs. 5 falling already.
He's going to have some more Reapers coming up. The Hellion is going to come out and greatly help with this attack. He does manage to escape and only drops 1. The regen's going to kick in momentarily.
That was a good hold. It could have been worse.
So right now, it's 21 SCVs against 18. So it's a 3 to 4 SCV advantage for Maru. That's pretty significant, but Oliveira already has his command center doing pretty well. That SCV does get picked off. can Oliveira cover his main and get that command center built?
This is quite the dilemma because with the command center being made, oh, he's going to actually come out here and chase this. This is a pretty crazy move here by Oliveira. Is this actually an overextension? He's going to retreat back over here to where the rest of the barracks are. He needs a few more Reapers if he's going to take the fight. That was a wild move because it, of course, would be possible for Maru to just run up into the main and start killing everything up there.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility, but it looks like Oliveira going to guard that area for now, and it did push him back. All right, I mean, if you're going to push him back and get your command center done, I guess we have to give it to him. It was a good move.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a roll of the dice there.
Wait, what? He's gonna throw that Hellion away?
He
Why?
got in there. He did that damage. Very cool to see. He is going to send one Hellion up here. Luckily,
I think that was a waste. He should have kept that Hellion.
Up and make sure that did not get inside and get any scouting done. But I have to say, Oliveira has basically survived the rush.
He really has, and he lost some SCVs for sure, but his command center is quite a bit quicker, so that is going to help him to catch up as far as that income goes. You can see definitely Maru ahead at this moment, but that is going to change around a little bit. This barracks going around trying to get a scout as to what's happening, and really, I mean, Oliveira, I think, did a pretty good job defending all set.
Yeah, and so now this game goes into basically a macro game. As is standard, and Maru really is the guy, by the way, that figured this part of the game out. When you proxy with two barracks, you send one back home and then you use the other one to scout. The year he won several GSLs in a row, we always saw him doing that. And it's a smart approach because this way you force your way in with the barracks. You look around and you identify, okay, you're not like making another command center, are you?
They're both dropping.
You're not switching into mech, are you? And so he comes in here and gets that confirmed.
Well, one thing to mention is the barracks did not see that a medevac came out, so he might be a little bit surprised by this. Maru has one of his own. He's going to go ahead and do a 7 Reaper drop, as if that's something very common, but yeah, that's going to be kind of cool. This is a huge attack coming from Oliveira, though, and with Maru having a lot of units across the map, he's going to take a lot of damage. Look at this. Right now, running up that ramp, he's got to close that deep wall.
Oh, he needed those Reapers at home.
Double cyclones here, though.
Oh, but he manages to lock the rest of the units up inside the main, but there's so many. The cyclone looks like it might be taken
Oh,
out.
the tank's in range.
Oh my gosh, and in that picture-in-picture right now, you see that Maru as well getting a ton of damage with his Reapers, picking off tech units as well. The Siege Tank and Marines of Oliveira breaking through the wall. This is insane damage on both sides.
We can see Oliveira right now continuing to get right into the heart of Maru's base. He's got a Banshee out. He's repaired the Cyclones, but does he have enough to actually take this on?
Yeah, hard to say. The Cyclones come up and try to snipe that medevac. They just barely don't get it. The Banshee trying to get some damage on the very few Marines that act as anti-air here. They don't quite get it. A lock-on from that Cyclone backs up, but gets targeted down.
Oh, GG.
GG. As Oliveira ties it up 1-1.
Oh, man. What a move from Oliveira. He blocks the proxy barracks play. He gets
If Maru just played defense instead of like go for that random Reaper drop,
a king of base trades ends up
I think he would have helped with that because he had like how many was that? 7 Reapers in that medevac.
Attack from Oliveira, and it is now tied up 1-1.
Very cool game to see.
Maybe thrown a little
in, and let's see.
That strong in a situation where not that many of his countrymen are really pro gamers is even more impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins here, the impact that we'll have is going to be massive because Chinese fans are super loyal, they're super supportive, and I mean, I'm sure he's already right now a big inspiration to a lot of people in his home country.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's a big inspiration of people all over the place. To see him go on a run like this after not having the results that he probably dreamed of for many, many years, it's such a wonderful story. Now, he does poke up the ramp there, and he gets a scout. Maru started that command center on the high ground, maybe hoping that Oliveira wouldn't end up seeing it, but he sees it. It's not on location, so Oliveira will get like a slight jump ahead in this economy. But Maru does have that much faster factory.
Yeah, Maru, a little bit more conservative this game with that command center up in his main. And again, this is all pretty standard stuff here as far as builds go, so we're going to have a little bit more time pass before this game can really unpack itself and we know exactly what kind of strategies these people are going to do.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of very fast attack, especially not like the last game. Even from game 1, which was a little bit more delayed, it doesn't look or feel like we'll really get an attack like that again from Maru.
So Maru this time around, you know, going with a very, very different opening. He did try his proxy. I think, you know, with Oliveira having that unique handling of actually barreling down the ramp and trying to take a fight and forcing the barracks to lift off, Maru doesn't seem to be interested in trying that again this time around. But, you know, the thing about Maru that is so scary is that he has, by far, some of the best rushes out of all the players in all 3 of the races. But he also has maybe the best end game ever.
You're right about that. Yeah, yeah. Positionally, he's number 1. Macro-wise, he's number 1. Well, I mean, everyone saw he has the highest rated player card. Overall, the pros respect him more than everybody as far as his base skills go.
Okay, guns that down. The crowd goes wild.
Well, as soon as Oliveira gets a unit, you're like, all right, it's a real game. Let's go.
It's a sign.
But yeah, that was kind of just a sacrifice from Maru. You know, the Reapers don't really stay with a lot of power as the Terran versus Terran gets longer into it. They don't fight anything particularly well. So to jump it up, get that scout, see what's going on, that he's flipping it around to a tech lab on the starport. It's good information for Maru.
Yeah, certainly. We've got the medevac inbound here as his 3rd command center is being processed here for Oliveira. We have to watch right now and see what production decisions are going to be made here from Maru. But if he starts to make more barracks, this would be a game where Oliveira is going to be expanding and Maru will have an opportunity to attack in and maybe do some damage.
Well, Maru actually boosting into the main base here, and he is going to go ahead and drop a mine out immediately. Burrows that mine, unburrows for a moment, lets it tank a little bit of damage, and we'll see what he lets it target. Oh, it actually hits that SCV, I think. Not so good. Oliveira cleaning
that wasn't
drop
bad.
up beautifully.
Yeah, Maru had
Good
some
job.
pretty crafty micro.
Maybe if we dropped on Natural instead.
Ultimately, Oliveira just smashed that attack, and you know, whenever you have a drop like that, if it doesn't do any damage at all, then it completely backfired. And even the medevac was picked off. That's huge.
That is really gigantic. Like the fact that he lost 3 units total this game is pretty crazy. Oliveira having just perfect defense.
And so, if Maru was going to be aggressive, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to pull off over here. He might have to wait. Stim has started, whereas for Oliveira, the stim is way ahead. So Oliveira is probably going to be a player who may try to activate on the map first. Maru really actually holding off on getting stim for quite a while to get up other tech.
Yeah, like that drop, for instance, but doesn't really do too much for him. Both sides getting their engineering bays around the same time. Maru's command center not that far behind Oliveira's, but Oliveira already does have the orbital ready. So we're going to go ahead and see him get that 3rd base landed and really start pumping out the mules, really start getting the SCVs going.
Yeah. We have Maru setting the Raven out across the map. It's going to be going northbound, probably to try to chuck some auto turrets down and get some SCV kills. You never want to let that Raven energy go to waste.
Certainly not. He did throw down that 1 auto turret, but Oliveira trying to chase down the Raven, and he does get a lock on here. Can he actually get the kill?
Oh,
my
dang.
God. Oliveira so on top of every aspect of this game.
He just scanned at the last second to make sure that was actually taken out. And you know, the Raven, it really is like the Swiss Army knife of the Terran army.
Yes.
There's so many things you can do with it, from throwing auto turrets down to disabling enemy units. All of that is gone. That Raven is out of the picture. It got no value. Whatever is going to come out of the starport is extremely important, because medevacs, you know, do so much in TVT, but at the same time, Banshees are strong. But you have to have medevacs for your army. So actually taking that out is huge.
It really is. It's like the most important early game tech unit. It does so much for you. In fact, as Oliveira moves across, we may see some disables.
Yeah.
We may see him try to bust in here. All right, he scans. He sees the placement of 3 siege tanks, decides to go in a different direction. Oh my gosh, he's splitting his entire army. He is
He's
getting
diving
ready,
in.
possibly for a bust.
He has to scan. He's going to come in here. There's a counterattack here from Maru. It's going to be hitting all these SCVs. Meanwhile, Maru retreats. He's going to lift the command center. The tanks are running back. The disables come down.
Wow, that's 2 huge disables, and Oliveira going to town with his Marines, stimming forward so strongly into Maru's position. He's going to take out the Marines. He's going to take out the tanks as well.
He's going to keep moving forward here. Maru's going to be in a lot of trouble, Artosis.
He really is. His third has been pushed away. Oliveira getting into the natural, and now Maru with a drop into the main base. He already eliminated that third base mining situation, and now picking off a lot of SCVs, but Oliveira has enough to push him out.
And some of the production facilities right now are down over at this area. 2 barracks with reactors on them as Marines get gunned down as they come out.
Oh man, Maru's still with so few Marines trying to get some damage done here, and Oliveira has lost a lot of SCVs, but at the same time, Oliveira pummeling this natural expansion.
I think he has to pull his workers, but he's gonna throw a lot away.
But his siege tanks still shelling this base.
He really needs to break this. But that's 3 tanks.
Has to get rid of this push. The tanks continue to shell the command center.
Oh, he lifts it up. Maru right now only mining on 1 base, taking so much damage. Oliveira up 30 supply.
This is just unreal. Meanwhile, it looks like the 3rd command center for Oliveira has been landed. Maru going to go for a Hail Mary play, a huge counterattack across the map. He's got 2 medevacs full of units coming out now. Oliveira decides to back up and regroup. Oh no, excuse me, he's going to push back up. This is such a chaotic game.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Oliveira actually pulled very, very far back here and then went back up a little bit. So it seems like he knows something's happening. A scan goes down from Maru, decides better of dropping off in the natural, instead boosting into that main base. He needs to get some damage done here.
He's going to try to unload over here. I don't think there's enough Marines for Oliveira. He's going to stem, he's going to try to come in.
Yeah, Maru's so dead.
It looks like there might just barely be enough Marines here. He's going to pull the SCVs as well. Maru picks up and is chased out.
All right, he got 6 SCVs there, but still a pretty good lead for Oliveira. Oliveira re-maneuvering his siege tanks here, but Maru brings the Liberator, a key unit from Katowice this week in Terran vs. Terran, and he will push those back.
All right, the Marines are going to come stim in here. He is going to be able to target down that tank. And it just barely is killed in the nick of time, but you know things are not getting better right now for Maru. Oliveira is actually continuing to shell into this main base.
Yeah, he's trying to get a lot of damage, but really that Liberator is being a hero unit. A lot of the Marines die for Oliveira. Now Maru coming up with the rest of his units into the main base and finally ends Oliveira's attack. But after all of this, Oliveira
his 2 teams almost done.
14 SCVs. He's up a good 30 supply and still has that strong advantage with 2-2 almost done.
Maru is now going to try to push out. This is pretty crazy. I think his game plan is basically that Oliveira is desperate to finish the game. And so what he wants to do is basically go for a counterattack. But I mean, this is a mammoth army here for Oliveira. He has so much. Can you afford to have some of your army out on the map as Maru right now?
I think you can't afford not to, Tasteless. He has to make something happen. He's so far behind. Oliveira, though, with the counter
He had Doom drop in.
very quickly kills a 3rd base. Maru going to try to do the same.
He's going under this command center. I don't
B
see any way he
trade.
can save that. Meanwhile,
There doesn't have enough.
He takes out the tank. He's going to dive into the natural.
Oh my God, he has so many Marines here.
Yeah, it's
Stimming with
2-2.
those 2-2 upgrades. Down goes that command center as well. GG! Oliveira takes the lead 2-1.
What is going on?
What is going on?
What is happening?
I'll tell you what's happening, Tasteless. The birth of possibly a new best player in the world.
It's strange because that first game from Maru was such a smashing.
Yes.
He completely dominated Oliveira, and I personally, in my mind, and I'm sure in the mind of a lot of people watching, you go, uh-oh, this does not look good.
Yep.
But we couldn't have been more wrong, as now Oliveira is in the lead. In the upper left, in the red, from Korea, he is Maru. In the bottom right,
You can tell Maru's kind of frustrated.
from China, he is Oliveira.
Oliveira gaining a lot of new fans here this week. No doubt.
I kind of would be too.
Faces,
It's
what
TBT
happens
for you.
if he starts to gain a lead in game number 4 against Maru? Can Maru keep his mentality solid?
I don't know what's gonna
This macro's good.
Oliveira wins the next game. I'm gonna look at you
Times
and realize,
micro,
like, oh my God,
macro,
Moses, we're in the wrong time.
and
We're
micro
in the
too.
DeLorean.
Yeah, it's so wild. I didn't think I would ever see something like this, like someone rise from kind of a middle of the road pro gamer, you know, someone he's good, he'll be at the tournament, but you don't think about him, to challenging Maru, to being ahead of Maru in the World Championship.
Yeah, when you see like your
Yeah, I mean,
your
this
opponent
is
is like a little bit
truly
ahead
the
from you,
greatest
it's
dark
hard
story-
to keep
dark
up.
horse story, excuse me, ever in the Intel Extreme Masters. And look, like I said,
The only
before,
way to make it up is
he's
if
done
you
it
harass,
twice.
but if you do that,
He's already
they
halfway
could do the
there.
same.
Yeah, he just needs to win 2 more. So
Which
what
could
I'm
be
looking
pretty
for as
tricky.
we go into this game is how exactly is Maru going to play? There are not very many best of 7s where Maru gets behind.
Yeah, it's a
and
game of
stays
chess.
behind.
Like whoever takes
Certainly you're
the
right about that. And one
most
thing you
damage
mentioned about
early
Maru,
on.
like, I think that he's going to be mentally fine, at least for now. Like, yeah, he lost those 2 games, but he has won so many championships.
Sometimes you need luck
Things
in your
go
side,
wrong
too.
On those paths, and you know, he's definitely got the skills to come back.
We should mention as well, Oliveira is, his ID before was Time. Many of you who've been watching StarCraft in years past may be wondering, who is this guy? This is Time, same player, just a new ID. And yeah, I mean, right now he's playing extremely well. These games, by the way, are almost impossible to recreate. They're very specific things that are happening in these games where there's a lot of moving parts, and each one stands on its own as a very unique.
Yeah, they're the
experience.
exact
Some
same
games,
thing.
Somebody just gets a build order win. Other games,
Literally.
it's kind of your standard back and forth late game, macro game. These are some real cutthroat, rough TVTs where we're basically finishing the game right at mid game.
Yeah, maybe even before, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're attacking each other so early and so often. Like, the unit sets that they're fighting each other with are almost random. It's like, okay, this is what I have that survived, and that's what you made to try to hold me off, and now you're counterattacking with that, and it's just, it's not the standard stuff you'd normally
I think
see
Maru's
in
doing the
terrors,
tank drop
Darren.
build.
Will it continue that way?
He's
Or
gonna
are
put a
we gonna
medevac,
get any of the
I think.
long positional macro games?
Yep,
Maybe
there's the
that is a
medevac.
place where Maru can outplay Oliveira.
Yeah, but that would require Maru to be very inactive on the map, right? He'd have to be in a very defensive position, and you know, map control in TVT is extremely important. So we have Oliveira now out on the map. He's positioned so that he has 3 Reapers over here, just to the right of Maru's main base, and a Hellion to spot at the bottom. This doesn't mean he's going to try to attack in here, but it could simply be to try to catch any units that might move out. We've got the first medevac. Is this going to be a drop? It is. And look at this. A tank, Reapers moving out, Marines inside the medevac.
Ooh, picked up.
Oliveira
Oh!
actually catches those Reapers, so he knows something is
That-
going on, and it's
he
actually
saved that
very
Reaper.
similar attack to what we saw in game number 1 here from Maru. He's bringing the tank, he's bringing the Marines, but some of his units got caught on the way there. So let's see if Oliveira has time to stop this. He goes ahead, gets a lock on this medevac. If he kills the medevac, it is huge, and the medevac goes down immediately.
And that means the tank and the Marines are isolated over here. He targets it down.
Oh my God! In the meantime,
Oh,
his
he
own
flew atop of the
Marines
cyclone.
is getting some damage there as well. Maru with a smirk on his face because Oliveira not only shuts down his attack but gets more damage with less units on the other side of the map.
It's doubly bad right now for Maru. Losing workers.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Down, and medevac now out of the picture. But it seems like he's going to double down. It's actually very interesting having Maru show emotion on his face.
Yeah.
He's almost always expressionless.
Well, I mean, he's in a little bit of shock here because literally everything is going wrong for him and everything is going right for Oliveira. It's wild. Right now, Maru, like, he keeps coming across the map, but everything gets held off. Oliveira has plenty of units to defend. So I think Maru has to take a few risks here. You see him building a 3rd command center on the expansion instead of the main base. He's got to start optimizing to try to catch up and maybe get ahead later on.
We're having a Reaper come in here and try to peek and see what's happening. I could not believe how well that fight went. Even the Cyclone living,
Yes.
out of all the like, it literally could not have gone better for Oliveira. Now, again, Maru's very good when up against the ropes here, but right now, I can't imagine a game going better right now here for our Chinese player.
Oh, you're definitely right about that. Like, so far, this is the perfect opening. But, you know, Maru's actually, I think what Maru's doing here is very, very intelligent. Okay, so he went third command center right away, and he's going mostly Vikings and tanks. He's slowed down his own stim, he's slowing down Marine production, and he's just going to try to get these units that scale very well. The longer the game gets, the better Vikings and siege tanks are, and he's just going to try to get there. But Oliveira is coming in. He might be going for a kill move.
Oh, he's diving in.
He's going to come in here, probably trying to disable any tank he can.
Oh, he's not positioned.
He saves it, actually. He's got another disable already. The Vikings are going to be shot down. He throws down some auto turrets here in a tank.
Are those auto turrets going to have been enough? Sieges up. There was a disable there on one of his tanks. Lands his own Vikings, and GG! Oliveira is up 3-1.
Oh, my God. This is insane.
This is insane.
Be the biggest upset finals in StarCraft 2 history.
Man, throw that medevac away. Cost him.
His opponent in the upper right. In the
He didn't even
blue
pick
from
up the Cyclone.
China, he is Oliveira.
Tasteless, you can see that the crowd is absolutely packed. So many StarCraft fans coming together here in Katowice. You guys are fantastic.
So good to
Katowice.
be down here and casting these games to you guys. And what a hell of a final.
Yeah.
So, going into this next game, we have to remember that Maru does not have the luxury of trying
Facts.
any kind of weird all-ins or throwaway builds. One thing about a best of 7 is the bigger range you get in
There is no way he's going 3-1 right now. That's crazy.
You're up 3-0, right? And you just have to win one more game to win that best of 7. Well, then you can start doing really weird all-ins. You can throw
Terra
a couple in
come out.
because even if it doesn't work, okay, fine, then I'll go back and I'll play a macro game in the next game.
I thought it
But
would be
when
like a
you're down
TBZ finals, to be
1-3,
honest.
You have to basically make every perfect decision for how you're going to open up.
Yes. Yes. And that's so tough, right? You can't actually account for everything.
Yeah, I thought
As
it
well
could be
as take a couple
TVP. I thought
risks.
Hero would make it.
There's an area where you're going to be weak, and they might be able to find that out. Now, as of right now, looks like we are just going to have a Reaper expansion coming down here from Oliveira, whereas it is a Reaper into Factory here on Maru.
Remember that these games have been extremely explosive. Oftentimes with Maru actually the first to act.
Yes.
Like that last game that we saw back there, the tank tucked into the meta.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Couple of
Hero.
Marines and moving out. That's not a normal build. We don't see that in all the TVTs. This seems to be something new he's been tinkering with.
Hero's
One of the games, that was how he
PVT is
actually
really
beat
good.
Oliveira. But where does Maru want to take a game like this now? You know, TVT, it does seem like you can't really be too passive in it. You have to be fairly active on the map. Counterattacks are so dangerous because Stim Marines in small numbers are so deadly, and medevacs make them so mobile.
Also, if you're
If you
in a
lose them by
strong
saves,
position
it's
on you,
true.
if you're just kind of sitting there and they run up and siege near a command center, you're going to lose that area. Like you're not going to be able to break an equal amount of units that are already positioned. So that does make it so that there's a lot of roaming about, a lot of little scuffles where you try to gain that edge, keep your opponent off your back, and maybe sneak into their side of the map.
For now, it looks like Maru's just going to go for a 1-1-1, just about to finish up his starport as the factory's producing Hellions and the barracks is producing Marines.
Is he gonna do a tank drop again?
Maru is going to
Yeah,
just
he's
pick up
going for the
Reaper.
medevac drop.
Oliveira is ready to swat that away.
Doing a good job so far. He's got that bunker in the front. He was blocking the Reaper jump in. Maru just gets a little bit.
Hero's a
information, but
YOLO
doesn't know
Protoss.
too much about exactly what's going on in Oliveira's base.
Yeah, he
So
plays
first
very
game comes
aggressive.
out, the medevac is almost done. I'm curious if Maru is going to go on the move again. And if he's going to try to be aggressive, he doesn't have to, right? But a lot of times with the first medevac, you see players do something. It's the same build. Same build as before.
Yeah. He's really liking this build. Very similar builds, at least going 1-1 so far. But with his life on the line, he's decided, let's do this.
Oh, he's been a Viking. That's a hard counter to the medevac
You
drop.
don't normally see Maru stick with the same build unless it's proxy racks a couple games in a row.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess he wants to try to hit the main. Okay, but you see Oliveira's already ready. He's got a siege tank up.
I don't know why Maru's in the same build
Siege
again.
tank, a Viking tasteless to help push away that medevac, and as Maru sees it, he boosts out of there. But look, he didn't lose a lot of units. He lost like a Reaper, so it's not the end of the world what just happened there.
This is fine. This is totally fine because he manages to keep the medevac alive. It can be used later on. A Raven's being made. He might try to incorporate that with the next little jab in.
Yeah, Maru is bringing all of his units to the front.
He's gonna try to bust his bunker.
Gonna siege up on this bunker. So, that's a little bit annoying for Oliveira. He's going to go ahead, unload the bunker. Maybe he'll sell it as well. But Maru, are you going to get real damage right there? I don't think so. He's rotating around. He's trying to apply some pressure here to his opponent.
And one thing to note is that, that might have looked kind of like a bit of a weird skirmish, like he sieged up, shot the bunker, and backed up. He's actually taken a third base. So, he's generating the illusion of threats. And then he's going to pull back.
Yeah, it's a smart way to play, right?
Absolutely. Medevac going to come in here now. I believe there's one Hellion in here.
I think that's probably more for scouting than anything else. He does get to see basically what's going on. He sees that additional command center being built. So some good information here for Maru. He's traded a few units here and there to learn these things, and that's why he is down in supply.
Yeah, it's just harass.
It's
not really a commitment.
This doesn't feel like the last 3 games that we saw. It's not like he's super far behind or anything.
Yeah, and I actually think this is so far the best game we've seen from Maru. But we need to see, now that it's Oliveira's turn, with his later expansion, he's going to have an opportunity to attack. How is Maru going to handle it? Most of Maru's losses have been backfired, aggression. This is a totally different situation.
Yeah, I think Maru's playing aggressive too much. I think he just macros.
Same type of attack that he wants to make, but when he scans here, I don't think he's going to go in. It's basically the same units from Maru that Oliveira has. So again, to attack into something like that is incredibly difficult.
He's chasing that Cyclone, which is going to be pulling around here. Again, you want to watch those Ravens. They could try to shut down the tanks. Both players have that opportunity on either side. Oliveira unsieges again. Maru looks like he's going to try to set up a line of defense over here. Oliveira doesn't have to try to come in, but it looks like he might try to tiptoe these tanks forward.
Yeah, sets up a little siege right here. That's going to be a little bit annoying.
Yeah, it's 2 he has blood disables.
When he does get vision of it, right? So the tanks can shoot a little bit further than they can see, which is an important thing to keep in mind. That's why Vikings become so powerful. That Raven takes quite a bit of damage. Oliveira unsieging, deciding to go forward. He throws down the auto turrets. I don't know if this is
I thought he was going to disable.
Let's go forward. Maru pulling his SCVs, going forward with those Marines immediately. And will Oliveira actually be able to hold this position?
Yeah, the target firing there from Maru was just too good. He realized what's happening with the auto turrets and just target fired over the top. But you know what? These tanks are starting to get a little bit lower here, Artosis.
Yeah, Oliveira landing those Vikings down. They do deal a lot of damage to siege tanks, but somehow Maru keeps 3 tanks at very low health alive. That is a net win to Maru, I would say.
Oh, huge win there. Had he lost the tanks, it would have been more of a trade, but good juggling there with the medevacs. It's interesting to see that, Oliveira has an alternative approach to trying to break certain siege tank lines where he does use the auto turrets over the disable.
Yeah.
And, a lot of that, the burden then becomes on the defending player to manually target with the siege tanks over. Just let the, the tank.
He could go for a Doom Trap. He has so many medevacs.
Well, right now, Maru deciding it's time to move out across the map. He probably is feeling pretty good about his position right now. He's been mining from that third base a little bit longer than Oliveira has had his. He's got those siege tanks as well that stayed alive during the fight. So here we go. He's going to move up. He scans. No tanks here. This is a problem for Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira's looking pretty weak right now. The bunker is taken out. I see one siege tank on the low ground, and that's not going to be there for very long.
Oh, man. Actually, Maru kind of overcommits with his Marines there, I want to say. That diving in on those tanks, he did deal a lot of damage to them, but he didn't quite kill them off. He lost a lot of Marines, and I think he has to back up.
Yeah, that was a bit of a lackluster attack. It didn't seem like there was much, you know.
No, he left a tank behind. Oh, never mind.
One tank. Now he could target the Vikings. Vikings are very slow at running away on the ground. But Maru is just overextending here, Artosis.
It feels like he tried to lay a trap there with that one tank. The Vikings landed.
Yeah, I thought that was a bait.
But Oliveira was pretty quick. He stemmed down, fought those Marines off a little bit, and saved a couple Vikings. So probably a good trade for him there.
So I would say Oliveira, you know, not in a great spot this game, but Maru hasn't really been able to leverage his position. And honestly, there was some pretty bad moves, pretty bad plays tactically there from Maru outside of Oliveira's base. It looks like Maru's going to come around here and try to hit over here at the third. He's going to stim in now. I see 3 siege tanks here for Oliveira.
Let's see what Maru can get done. He targets one of them down immediately. Oh my gosh, stimming forward here. He gets another one. He will have to pull back the rest of his Marines here. A lot of them end up dying. Oliveira going with a counterattack towards that third base. Maru sees it coming and he lifts off. He's trying to...
Oh, this will do a lot of damage.
He's taken out so many. He's now going to try to fight those Marines.
There's nothing at home.
And he does manage to take them out as well. A big interruption here for the income of Maru.
Oh, Maru comes down with his SCVs to fight with some Marines as well. Vikings pushing back the medevac, but loses quite a few SCVs. He does drop down below Oliveira's economy for now.
The tanks are now going to be pulled back. Big victory there for a very small attack from Oliveira. 16 SCVs have been killed.
Yeah, oh man, this game definitely a lot closer than the others though. Maru right now setting up that fourth base location with a planetary so that it's going to be able to defend itself a little bit. Now we're watching the first person view here of Maru, spreading out his siege tanks, sieging them up, trying to keep an eye on anywhere that Oliveira could attack him.
Yeah, you can see he's so fast, so efficient. He is ahead in a base, by the way. So that's very comfortable for him. He's got an extra income. Oliveira's actually backed off. You know, he's needs to continue to try to keep growing here and moving out on the map, because if you're on 3 bases versus 4 and you stay on 3 bases, either you need to be attacking and winning, or you need to be double expanding yourself.
I think Oliveira may have just taken his own 4th base there. We saw a sensor tower go up. Maru saw that as well. So trying to catch up. Looks like Maru kind of roaming the map.
He doesn't have that much. He needs more
tanks.
tanks.
Not done quite yet, but very, very close. With the sensor towers there, though, it's very hard to attack. Your opponent will see you coming.
There is a blind spot for both players here in the middle of the map. It looks like Oliveira may end up having an encounter here with Maru, stimming and coming in, but a flank over here on the side from Maru. Reinforcements for Oliveira coming down the ramp.
Now Oliveira stimming up. He has a ton of Marines here, and in fact, he will start to beat the Marines, but the siege tanks adding so much firepower here. Oliveira loses a lot of Marines, but so does Maru.
Quite the exchange there. Maru decides to go back and lick his wounds. Some more tanks are going to unsiege over here as well. Oliveira, yeah, unsure of where to go now. He certainly doesn't want to try to push in any further. I think that would have been a pretty egregious overextension.
One thing I do want to mention, Oliveira actually getting
Maru's up in supply.
3 Marine upgrades before Maru does. So that's something that will, you know, help him out quite a bit when he gets them. If you're up in upgrades, your Marines will fight far, far better. But of course, siege tanks going to be a key element of those attacks as well.
Both sides are doing a great job with keeping up with their tech. Upgrades are getting pretty crazy. The tank count overall is actually a lot better for Maru.
I'm drinking.
Tanks are pretty brittle versus Marines if they ever get.
I feel like a Doom Drive will do a lot.
Where the Marines can gun them down. So if
Their sensor towers are at range, like all in the bottom.
And see if he can get any good tank snipes. That being said, it looks like Maru's actually gearing up for a push.
Yeah.
Trying to come up and hit this base over here right now.
That's really scary. That's a huge army from Maru. He is up in army supply by about 20 right now. And Oliveira has a little group of Marines to the sides. That is not
there's the drop.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not going to the main.
Unsiege these tanks over here. He's going to go around up onto the high ground and start to shell this base. Now we can see these Marines over here in the picture-in-picture. They do take out this command center.
Oh, he threw away too many tanks.
Well, Oliveira, though, clearing those tanks with a double medevac drop. Very well done on defense. And suddenly, the game looks pretty even.
He threw away too many tanks there.
You know, it is
that was a waste.
Sometimes the much smaller counterattack does way more damage than the big heavy push. And that was one of those moments. I think Maru lost
I
a
think
decent
he
amount of
should have
points.
just like
It's possible that the tank count is actually ahead here for Oliveira.
wrapped
It is
around and
six.
dropped
He
him.
is in the lead.
That is a big deal. That is a big deal. 6 tanks will still do a good job defensively, and they're going to have to because Oliveira looks to be getting ready to attack.
Yeah, that was really good.
Maru backs
Only
up
2 medevacs to kill
the
like how many
It
tanks?
is a very
5,
choked
6.
off area, so it would be hard for Oliveira to attack there.
It was pure tank drop. Yeah, that was, and he had the Vikings to cover.
Onto the high ground. He scans again.
First of all, Maru doesn't have. Wait, normally Maru has Viking control. Like what happened?
Overextend, so he backs up.
Like Viking Raven control?
As well. I think
He just has a Marine tank.
Yeah, there is a lot of heavy army movement right now around the map. If you lose track of where your opponent's Marines and tanks are, you can die very, very quickly. That's why we're
Maru's
seeing
playing
these
very
over
different
and over.
from I'm used to
Double
see him
check.
because normally he goes like
Sitting there, siege.
air
Are you
control, right?
moving around? Which direction are you going into? These are incredible.
He has no air control.
That they must keep track of.
Command center going to be planted over here. At
Time has
12
air
o'clock.
control.
We're about to get to the 5th base up here for Oliveira, but Maru has plans to try to deny that. He's sieging up here on the low ground and scanning and hitting Oliveira's tanks.
Yeah, that's a very good siege there from Maru, picking off a couple tanks almost for free. Still roaming, looking like he wants to deny the space, but I don't think that he can, right? Like Oliveira has a lot of tanks on the high ground.
Yeah,
His
he's
Marine
still playing
force
really
players
well,
as
but
in fact, both sides are maxed out.
I
with
think
3
his
upgrades
unit
on their
comp
Marines and plus
is
2
off.
attack on their tanks.
Yeah, both
Okay, now he's
players are
tech up.
basically growing up into the upper left corner.
Normally he takes quicker though. He's taking
Oliveira's position is a little
from
bit
behind.
more of a triangle here in the top right, where it seems like Maru is kind of going more up into a straight line.
his slightly off will still
Also
destroy
scans
us.
down into 6 o'clock.
More than that.
Maru is
He
very
can be
scary
even
when it
more
comes
off.
to these huge, intense macro games. He's very good at growing, pushing, and continuing to have good production.
He's incredibly fast, so that is definitely.
It's match. It's match fixed? I don't think so.
Picks off a few of those tanks, going to kill a couple turrets and whatnot. Gets rid of the sensor tower. An okay move there from Maru. Just trying to keep pressure on once again.
Maru with a big attack over here. The tank is gunned down immediately.
That was a good
He's gonna
trade.
try to shove in. No, he backs up and relocates, suffering very little losses.
I love these moves that we're seeing from Maru. He's actually starting to spend some of his Marine force. He's sending them in on these little missions that he knows that they're going to get destroyed during. And that's
5
allowing
starports.
him to tech towards the end game. You can see now a lot of starports are up. He's making a lot of Ravens. He's getting more Vikings. He's adding more starports. Because these, as the game gets longer, become more and more important.
He's going to shell down these rocks over here, trying to make the map a little bit more open so he can maybe have some more opportunities to hit. But I got to tell you, man, Maru is getting very scary as far as growth. We're having 4 Liberators at a time now come out here for Oliveira. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, a Liberator range as well. So Oliveira is going to try to break some tank lines. But will he have more Vikings? He's got 15 to 10. That's a big deal. Maru's Raven usage is going to have to be very strong if he wants to hold this incoming push.
Okay, he scans over here. And this is going to be a hard position to push into, Artosis. He does gun down the first one.
Doesn't have that many Vikings.
We have some great armor shreds going down. The Vikings going to town on each other.
Oh, he has no Viking control.
Bringing forward those very important Liberators we were talking
That's what
about.
Maru's losing this fight.
To unsiege and move back.
Yeah, between the tanks and the Liberators, he can start to leapfrog forward here.
He can disable the Vikings, but that's a waste.
We're seeing a lot of tanks get gunned down, Artosis.
We really are. The Liberators so great at breaking these positions. Still, he has to keep more Vikings. The Viking count very close on both sides. Maru trying to hold on right now as Oliveira tries to push forward, kills another tank with the Liberators, going after another one as well.
The tanks continue to come down. It seems to be working. I think Maru's going to lose this base.
He has less Vikings. That's why.
He's going to be able to pick that off so quickly. An armor shred goes down on his Marines, but he continues to fight, chasing Maru back.
One base goes down, but Maru has so many more. He's now expanding over into the very far bottom right. He has 6 o'clock, as we can see over here. Where does he try to go? Maru has to try to remake his tanks. He has to get some kind of unit composition to address the threats that Oliveira is creating.
Maru only has 2 tanks right now, Tasis, and only 2 factories. This is a terrible situation. He must keep those tanks alive. Oliveira continues to push him back, controlling the pace of this game.
He's going to try to come in again. He does gun down some of those Vikings. The Vikings trying to pick off the medevacs if they can. There's a planetary here. SCVs can repair, but they need to stay behind.
Yeah, this is really rough.
Maru could go for a base trade if he wanted to.
Planetary as well. Maru massing up outside of his natural. He's lost control of these two bases.
I think Maru should go for a base trade. What do you think? Or
he's got a lot of SCVs. He's got
just go across the map.
He still has a chance in this game.
Maru's going to
Says he has so many Ravens.
Engage with this army that's over here. A big pickup. He's going to go into the main. He's going to dive on the infrastructure. Meanwhile, Maru does get the disables in, inches in with the tanks, and starts to pick off the position Oliveira has.
Oh, I love this drop from Oliveira, though. Nothing in here for Maru. He does bring up a couple siege tanks, but a lot of his reactors getting picked off, and then Oliveira gets out of the area. He's just hurting the production of Maru.
The SCVs that fled the 6 o'clock.
Yeah, he's playing smart.
Over here in the very far bottom right, but this base is going to go down as well. Oliveira continuing to grow. He's actually expanded to one screenshot north of where we were a second ago.
Oh, dude, I never noticed how much Maru looked like another before.
Still controlling the map, still shelling down Maru bases. I think right now he feels it. He's getting closer and closer to being the world champion.
Base trade? Base trade? Base trade?
So low. A big push here in the middle of the map. Maru trying to fight back. I don't see very Marines to defend.
Let's go.
Into this position.
You might be right about
Wait, where's the disables?
Looks like Oliveira coming back at the side with his
there it is. Those are late disables.
Armor shred off, and here we go. Disables on all these.
He could disable it earlier.
Breaking through.
He's coming through. He's just destroying this position right on top of these starports. Another siege tank comes up. Maru's going to have to try to move his tanks in a little bit further. But if he missteps, Oliveira can dive in and take those all out.
That's right. Look at
He just has he has more Vikings.
And in fact, he does have
he can just keep kiting.
The armor shred goes down, but I don't know that that will be enough. I think he's going to win this air battle, and Maru may have to flee once again.
Yeah, he can't break.
With the weakened Vikings, you just have too many. It's just a game of math right now. And without those Vikings, you know, it's very hard to spot for your own tanks.
No Vikings, no win.
As soon as he won the Viking battle, 4 more Liberators. He's going to use those to push those tanks back. But in the meantime, Maru rotating his army to the side will kill off another base.
He tries to come in and dive on that tank, but there's too many Marines. He might be able to protect it. More tanks coming up right now here for Oliveira.
Oh, some great disables go down. Picks off a couple more siege tanks as well. The Liberators come forward, but Maru.
Yeah, this game's
so
intense.
Quick with his unsiege, backing up, and now he's going to do to Oliveira what Oliveira did to him. He can pick off even more bases.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much.
I don't know why Maru didn't pick that base up.
He actually didn't know that base was taken.
Yeah.
He could have killed that.
He doesn't even realize how behind he is right now.
Oh, no. Bad news for Maru.
Yeah, he doesn't know about this base over here in the bottom right as well.
Well, he's going to go somewhere. Let's see if he checks. He stims some Marines up. He sees the planetary. This is certainly something that Maru can attack.
Yeah, Oliveira is going to go for a counterattack here. You know, when you're ahead in bases, sometimes the counterattack with everything can be a little bit stronger because the person who's doing the initial attack just has more locations they have to try to wipe out.
Yeah, that does occur. Oh, quick pick off right there from Oliveira. He's doing a massive counterattack.
Base trade or counterattack.
He's going to go in here and kill all the factories and barracks.
This is really bad news for Maru as these tanks come up for Oliveira. He sets up some beautiful Liberators as well, saying, no, you can't siege there. Maru has to walk all the way around, but is this breakable?
He has all the tanks disabled here. The Marines are going to come down and fight. They're all going to get...
Those Liberators are doing a lot of damage.
The tanks get destroyed in an insane
moment.
That is perhaps the best break I have ever seen from an invincible position. Maru making some magic, keeping himself in the game, but just barely so.
Now, Maru's supply is way down right now. Oliveira basically lost his main army. He's really hurt.
Yeah, but look at the supply difference.
But again, the income is so high, he can start to try to remake that. But Artosis, I'm blown away.
Maru needed to kill the top left bases to keep this game.
Siege tanks, but he handled it perfectly.
I don't think anyone else in the world could have lived through that. That was the most beautiful positional play I've ever seen. But Oliveira continues to have an advantage. Way more supply. Maru moving up through the map. It's hard to even keep track of how many bases they have at this point. There are command centers going up and going down everywhere as these two just pummel each other.
It looks like already Oliveira has managed to remake most of his army. The tank count is certainly going to be lower, though. And so we're going to need to see, you know, how he tries to handle this. For the time being, though, it looks like, you know, Maru growing into the bottom center. He's looking pretty healthy. Oliveira's actually taken the very upper left corner. I feel like I don't even remember when that base was taken out, but now he's got it. So they've traded spots. There's actually been so much action happening on the map.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth with these expansions. The Liberator's being used for some harassment as well. Maru is going to clean that up. And Maru is really focusing very, very heavily on this Raven production. His Raven spellcasting is going to be so key, both in defense and in breaking other locations.
Diving in.
Oh my God, they're trying to get back, but they can't, and so many are picked up. Siege mode is up. Does he have enough? Medevac's covering most of this fight.
It's hard to say even what's going on
GG.
here. Oliveira is the world champion.
Katowice, give it up for Oliveira. He is your Intel Extreme Masters World Champion.
I think so. The only chance Mar had this game was to base trade. You know when Time was killing his third base? Mar had a chance to just literally walk across the map and force the base trade. He has a lot of Ravens to disable. I think. Or what do you think? Or think that'd be a bad, or that's a bad call. Or at the very end, he could have base traded as well, but
You said this felt like a
Time had a
dream.
bigger army.
Well, you are not waking up because I have to tell you something. You are the Intel Extreme Masters World Champion.
I mean, like many people sometimes tell me like, you should finish StarCraft 2, you should retire, and you should give up. But look at me now.
Cameras
Mario
on
vs.
Maru
Solar.
and Solar both looking.
Should I watch this? I think I'm gonna. Should we watch this? Alright, last one. Let's just watch game one. And then I'm gonna head off.
Looking very calm and focused. I think Maru's main attribute in this head-to-head is the unshakable.
Mario versus
No matter
Solar.
what goes wrong, this man could lose 50 Marines to a couple of Banelings, and he won't even blink twice. He'll just keep on playing his A game. He is, of course, the greatest Terran player in the world, the greatest Korean GSL player of all time. Looking for his first world championship. Give it up for Maru.
TVZ.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, a teammate of Maru. We are looking at Solar's main hatchery.
Onside gaming, getting the once again fabled team kill. You know, so many times Solar and Maru have run into each other in these round of 8s.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? When you make deep runs into tournaments, at some point, since only one person can win, you're gonna have to take down your teammate as well.
I'm sure those onside guys are shaking their head though and saying, "Come on, can it just be the finals for once?
Yeah,
Can they just avoid each other till the finals, please?"
I'm indeed expecting Solar to start this series off pretty standardly, like you were talking about already. Yes, he's perfectly capable of playing those roach-based pushers, and that is something that he's done many times before. But generally speaking, he likes to go for that macro-focused style in the early game, where you just slowly build up, you try to just take all of the punches, and eventually overwhelm and swarm your Terran opponent, right? And Maru, yeah, he's a big fan of playing that heavy macro style, but honestly, he's one of the most well-rounded players out there, going for a huge variety, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to get very aggressive here in the first game of this series.
Yeah,
One
I
Protoss
agree
left.
That sign, turn the Terran music up as well. I think that's everyone's favorite soundtrack, the Wings of Liberty one. Some Zerg supporters there as well, of course. And I really do feel that the defensive player Sol is very good. What's interesting for me is if Maru chooses Widow Mines or tanks to try to push it, because Babylon's a rather short distance map, some amazing tank positions, and I think Sol is going to need a lot of urgency on breaking the rocks down. Anytime he gets a little bit of room to breathe, start working on these rocks, because you want as many wide open areas as possible. Otherwise, the Terran is going to take advantage.
Ooh, yeah, I was going to say, I think that is in vision range right there of the Reaper. The drone not moving far enough. And that is, well, it's annoying, but it's a moral victory as well, right? This is one of those starts.
How did Mara fight that so quick?
Have as a Zerg player. It's only a single drone, but it hurts mentally.
And speaking of the mental game, this is why I mentioned how Maru is so unflappable at the start of the series, because Solar, on the other hand, is a player who is a bit more emotional. I mean, he's good at staying calm under pressure for the most part, but Maru is an absolute rock, whereas Solar, he has a history here. He has a history
3 CC
in the World Championship.
3 hatch surge.
A gigantic nuke ruining a series and actually eliminating his chance of going further in that tournament, you know? It was a disaster for him a few years ago when that giant nuke from Maru did make a crazy comeback, something that weighs on Solar's mind a little bit, not to mention that he was mentioning, hey, Maru was my #1 practice.
Solar got nuked twice
He beat me
in the tournament.
13 games for every 1 win that I got. I don't know how much he was exaggerating, but obviously Solar's warmed up throughout this tournament. We've seen him gain confidence. He came into the tournament really doubting his abilities, and he's just gotten better and better each round.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Maru and Solar, or a lot of interviews rather with these two historically, and Solar, I mean, he's a bit of a memester, right? I mean, it's really difficult to judge his words, but I wouldn't be surprised, though, if Maru is indeed the favorite whenever they're playing against each other in practice games. It's going to be that quick triple CC into a Raven opener. A Raven is kind of interesting. Obviously, the unit did get a couple of adjustments recently. It's now a bit cheaper since the new multiplayer balance patch. And apparently, yeah, Maru is bringing it out early here. It's really quite nice for sniping those creep troopers,
Builds
right?
so fast as well. It really does. And Maru was using Raven a lot pre-patch. Remember, a few months ago, he loved the Raven opening. I've been waiting for people to play this more. I'm like, come on, it's cheaper, it's more accessible. You can even get a second Raven if you want to. So I think this is a perfect idea to mix things up. Now, it is a little bit vulnerable to like roach pushes and things like that because the Raven isn't that effective at actually fighting. But getting one Raven out, he's going to add a Liberator behind it, and the Marines will take out this Overlord. Overlord sees no cloak upgrading on that starport. Also spots the 3rd command center.
Yeah, you're definitely right. I think most of the time you would still expect the Banshee at this point as the Zerg. The Solar will probably be firing up a couple of Spore Crawlers here momentarily. There's that Raven going across the map. And he's going to be able to get into the main base right there of the Zerg very soon. Aliens here in the middle of the map.
Really slow play so far. Let's see how quick Solar pulls. Only 1 drone, not bad. A little bit of mining time, but the Raven, of course, able to keep doing that over and over again. Quick lair and Baneling Nest, so Baneling speed will be the main goal for Solar, and that's very important because it's such a short map where Baneling speed is going to give you the ability to control and push back these big Terran armies. Maru's loved his aggressive early mid-game styles, and he almost always starts a series off swinging at the Zerg. Maru may be known as the late-game god, but he never goes straight to late game. It's only once he falls behind or, you know, the game calls for him to turtle up that he does it. He's going to keep on swinging. And he's got 4 barracks on the way behind this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a big 8 racks follow-up where Maru just goes pedal to the metal on the aggression.
Yeah, this is exactly the Maru we all know and love. He likes
Spire.
playing a big macro game, but it's very map dependent as well, right? And so far his aggression is working out very nicely in this match. He's going for a lot of additional barracks, like you already pointed out. Solar opting to play that Mutaling Bane style primarily, so the Baneling speed does start up after the Spire. This does, however, mean that his Evo Chamber upgrades are going to be a little late, and those Marines are really going to pack a punch.
Very, very late on the upgrades normally. Maru here, I think he already started combat shields. Liberator does go down. You could argue that's the first mistake, but he already delayed a lot of mining time. What I like about Maru's camera is you're going to notice this is quite easy viewing compared to the Raynor, Clem, Serral first person
Very little
views.
scrolling, right?
He never scrolls. He has the lowest scroll speed of any pro player in the game, and it's because he doesn't use it that often. You can see when his mouse moves to the edge of the screen, it doesn't move around that much. He's very focused on his camera hotkeys and using his control groups, double tapping to where he needs to be. And I think the biggest skill Maru has is he doesn't panic. He doesn't hit that select all army key in the big crazy situations. He uses it when necessary, but he never panic clumps his army up or panic pulls everything in one angle. And it's this calm, methodical flow, that's what makes Maru a beast.
I find the color that he's playing with.
I really like the Reaping, clear creep off without scanning. So that saves you a bunch of meals.
Quite a bit darker on his own screen. Either way, the Mutas are coming up. I don't know exactly how much Maru knows about the Spire play. Obviously, that's when that panic can very well come.
Oh, I think he's going to get it if he clicks it. If he commits, he will get
wow. That is very nice right here for the Terran player, slowing down the Zerg, and it certainly counts. Now, he hasn't seen that Spire, so these Mutas, they may very well show up unscouted.
1-1 has only just started for Solar. In fact, only Carapace for now. He didn't start the melee. First Marine tank push is in position in the north, but this could get shut down really hard if he's got Banelings ready. I don't know how much ground army Solar has. The Mutas are going to rotate around and maybe find some damage. They're going to go in for the counter. Losing the 5th and the 4th base. This is definitely really hurting Solar's production.
Muta's getting into the main base though, and Maru did not know about them until right now. He must have realized, wait a second, where is the entire army of my opponent? He now loses a ton of SCVs inside of the main base. Reinforcements are trying to deal with this, but I mean, they're trickling out one at a time. There's a missile turret starting up at the 3rd base, but it's not done yet, and more damage will be executed.
Oh, there's some medevacs there, but he does pull back for now. More SCVs grabbing one of these medevacs on the way out would be nice, but no, gonna go a siege tank, even better. Ooh. Big juicy pickups here for Solar. Unfortunately, Solar did not remember to start melee during all the heat and the action, and that means his upgrades are very far behind. On the other hand, Maru didn't start his 2-2, so the upgrade gap is kind of closing as this game gets scrappy, down and dirty. First game of the day. Maru's going to try and counterattack across the map. The Mutas are not going to let him do that easily.
The lack of 4th base is really hurting Solar at this point, right? Like, he's not been mining as much as you normally are in a game like this. Solar, he's going to have to defend against this massive Terran force that's now in the middle of the map, and the siege tanks are getting into really good positions here.
If Solar can flank this army, he'll smash it. He might even be able to just go right now from the front. He has large numbers. The tanks are getting deep. Solar can't wait much longer. Those tanks are in range of his ramp.
Yeah, that's good split.
Right now,
good setup.
As he tries to collapse on top of this Terran army from multiple angles. A lot of the army coming from the south. There's a huge bioforce right there at the bottom of the ramp. Siege tank on the right is getting so much damage done.
And there was a massive Widow Mine on the Mutas that also got a bunch of Banelings as well. That is, you can see Solar's face. He knows he's been overwhelmed.
That was very nice engagement.
Yeah, losing all of those SCVs was too bad, I suppose, but his standing army was still absolutely massive. He got one siege tank as well, right, if I'm not mistaken.
Alright guys, well, I'm gonna call it a night. Oh. GG. Alright, have a good night guys. Thank you for watching, thank you for the follows. Stream. I would keep watching, but I'll be too tired. Push. Wouldn't that wake me up? Raid Pyro. Is he streaming? Like, I got you. Those were very nice games. Alright, good night everyone.